just going to be the final touches for WrestleMania Backlash. Go-home episodes, traditionally not the most exciting things in the world, but it is SmackDown, so we do have a silver lining, and honestly, it might be okay. I'm not expecting a show that's going to really shock us or really do too much. I kind of feel like all the matches are in place now. The final touches for WrestleMania Backlash have kind of been done, so now it's just just showing the casual fans what they can tune into on Sunday. So I think the show will be okay. It is SmackDown after all, so got to keep those hopes high, but I'm not sure this is going to go down as a vintage episode of SmackDown, to be honest. Not much has been announced either. In fact, I've only seen one match so far that's been announced, and that is going to be Natalya and Tamina taking on Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler for the Women's Tag Team Championships. So we've got that coming up. There was a little message from Bret Hart that was wishing both of them the best of luck, which was really cool. I actually retweeted that on Twitter, because it was just really cool seeing Bret Hart talk about the current product and wish his niece, Natalya, all the best for tonight. So I like that. I thought it was really good. So retweeted that out. And then, other than that, the only other things I've seen have been Cesaro and Roman are apparently going to be face-to-face, and Bayley and Bianca Belair as well. So, yeah, not loads to kind of talk about. There's a bit of news to go through, but not loads to go through in regards to SmackDown tonight. But it's a big weekend. We've got a massive weekend ahead. Very much looking forward to UFC 262. That, of course, is tomorrow. We're going to crown a new lightweight champion in the UFC. Khabib has gone. He's retired. He's vacated his belt. So we now need a new lightweight champion. So we've got that tomorrow. We've also got, of course, WrestleMania Backlash on Sunday. We will be streaming that. We're going to start about an hour before the kickoff show, as always. So I'm not too sure what time that is. But we'll start before, we'll run through the latest news, we'll go through predictions, we'll cover absolutely everything, we'll go through the kickoff show, and then of course we'll go straight through the show as well. So we got UFC tomorrow, we've got WrestleMania Backlash on Sunday, we've got Raw on Monday, we've got NXT on Tuesday, we've got AEW on Wednesday, we've got plenty of stuff coming up on the channel. Yeah, should be a big, fun weekend. Miss Clown 1 says it's sexy SmackDown, baby. Austin316, shout out to you. Harley said, we should have tag title match, Alistair, Mia Yim, and Roman stuff tonight. Harley, shout out to you. In fact, shout out to everyone that's in the chat. Preston says, Rocky or Stone Cold. If I had to choose between the two, I would probably say wrestling. I would go with Stone Cold, but just like for his charisma, I'd like promos, I'd be going with The Rock. So they both brought kind of different parts, didn't they? Like Stone Cold was no nonsense. He just got into the ring, got the job done. His matches were super exciting. His promos were great as well. But The Rock was just dripping with charisma, so that's why they were so perfect as a feud, you know. AEW NXT says Bryce. We should have something happen on the show, says Brian. I'm in the Thunderdome, says Johnny. Have fun, Johnny. Right, on the notes that I've got, there's a few bits of interesting one from John Cena. John Cena has spoken about the Firefly Funhouse match, and to be honest, it's not something that I've heard him speak about before, so I thought this was quite interesting that John was talking about this, and he had a proper sit-down interview, and I think it was with Dan the Geek. I think that's who it was with, and he was talking about the Firefly Funhouse match, and he was saying that it was basically thrown at him last minute. This wasn't the plan, so I think the Firefly Funhouse match has come out of the fact that Obviously, the pandemic hit. They were meant to be in Raymond James Stadium. Had they have been in Raymond James Stadium, I'm fairly confident we would have just got a normal in-ring match. As soon as they knew that Raymond James Stadium wasn't going ahead, then that's where Firefly Funhouse match comes in. And apparently John Cena asked behind the scenes, what's a Firefly Funhouse match? And the answer he got was, we don't know. Right? So no one knew, even backstage, what a Firefly Funhouse match was. And he said that he really loved the challenge of trying to help figure out what this was. I mean, I don't quite understand how you book a match when you don't know what it is. I find that so hard to believe that the creative department have come up with this, along with potentially Bray, and no one knows what it is. I'm sure Bray had ideas as to what he wanted to do, but by and large, I think there was probably so much confusion that was backstage at that time. I mean, they were having to look at refunds, move WrestleMania, try and figure out if the Performance Center could support a WrestleMania. Was there any other options? Was they going to lose a lot of money by doing that? Were they going to be liable for moving WrestleMania? There was so much stuff that was going on. I would imagine what is a Firefly Funhouse match was so far down the priority list. That's probably why he got the answer that he got. But, he said that he enjoyed the challenge of trying to come up with what a Firefly Funhouse match was. And he was asked about, his return, and he said that he wants to, if he comes back, he wants to continue the narrative. So you can read into that what you want. But he says that if he comes back and he says, what do you want me to do? And he gets the reaction of, we don't know. Then he said he's going to enjoy that as well, because it's going to allow him to kind of, forge his own way forward, if you will. So I must admit, I do find this quite stunning. And it's another little glimpse into this kind of Bray Wyatt Firefly Funhouse world. The fact that this match was booked and they don't know what it was. Cena obviously did what he did, but still seemingly doesn't know what's going to happen when he returns. This isn't something that's seemingly planned out. This isn't something that's seemingly been chiseled out of stone and it's all crafted and it's all got this big meaning, and I'm sure they'll try and find something and retrospectively fit it. But right now, Cena's saying that when he comes back, he doesn't know how he's coming back or when he's coming back or, what his presentation's going to be. It just kind of strikes me like there's no bigger plan at play here, which I do find disappointing. But I suppose that's difficult with Cena because maybe Cena doesn't know when he was coming back. Perhaps this was just a way of getting him from TV, getting him written off, and then when it's time for him to return, they'll figure it out. They'll do a classic, we'll figure it out further down the line. So we'll have to wait and see, basically. He wants to return, and he's very eager to come back. I think there's a good chance he comes back for a couple of matches or something when fans return. I don't think he's looking to do anything when fans aren't around. So he said, just like the fans, I want to get back to, normality. So I think he is looking to come back when the fans are back. I think there's a very good chance he's at WrestleMania next year. And I think that he would want to do some matches. And in his words, continue the narrative. So we'll have to wait and see what that means. But I thought it was very interesting sit-down interview. If you get a chance to read it yourself, search it out, you'll be able to find it. If you just type in Cena, Firefly Funhouse match, you'll find the articles popping up on that. But first time I had heard him say anything on this, so I thought it was very interesting. Zelina Vega coming back as well. So we got news on Zelina Vega, big rumours, nothing confirmed, but big rumours that she was at the Performance Center and that WWE want to re-sign her. We did speak about this. I can't remember what stream it was. It might have been a members stream that we did, but we did speak about this, I want to say yesterday. It's looking pretty good for her to come back. So I think that she is potentially going to come back, and she could work with Alistair, which I think would be awesome. Or ideally, you put her with someone down in NXT. She did a great job with Andrade. So you could put her with someone down in NXT. She could work her magic like she did with Andrade. Andrade was kind of languishing a little bit in NXT. As soon as Zelina Vega was put with him, to the moon. To the moon. He won the championship. He got called up. Everything was like clicking and vibing for Andrade. And I kind of feel that Zelina Vega could do that for someone else. It might be they're going to look to bring her back and put her with Alistair Black. There's obviously this big kind of push with Alistair at the moment. We didn't get his segment last week because it was cancelled due to time constraints. So there's a good chance that we do see Alistair tonight. I wouldn't expect Zelina Vega involved. I think it'll be another sit-down, thing. They'll probably wait to get WrestleMania Backlash out the way. And then there's a chance that next week we see Alistair in person. The only thing I would say is if they've got 4 or 5 of these recorded, they skipped one last week. So there's a chance it might just run a little bit longer than planned because they've got to play the final ones. If they've made 5 of these vignettes, I'm pretty sure they're going to play them all. So, yeah, it might not be next week. It could be the week after because of that slight delay. But we can't be too far from seeing Alistair Black return. But I am enjoying what they're doing with Alistair, and maybe Zelina is going to be part of that presentation. And then, of course, the other thing we've got about Sami Zayn, who was trending today. So we back Sami Zayn. We support Sami Zayn was trending. The reason why it was trending was because Sami was speaking out about what was happening in the Middle East. He was talking about what was happening in Gaza, Israel, Palestine, and, all of that conflict. And he was speaking out about, the attacks and the fact that people were being killed and how it's, appalling and all of this. And apparently there was some pro-Israel groups that got in touch with WWE, and they I don't know quite what they were looking to do. I don't know if they were looking for WWE to fire Sami Zayn or suspend him, or not too sure. I mean, we never got details as to what they were looking to do, or if they were just lodging a complaint. But, I mean, these kind of groups don't mess around. So I would imagine they were probably looking for him to be fired. But, what that triggered was a big outpouring on social media of people saying we support Sami Zayn. So, that was probably one of the bigger stories today as well. So, lots going on in the wacky world of wrestling. But obviously all eyes on WrestleMania Backlash this Sunday. Jimmy, shout out to you, buddy. Really appreciate the support. Really cool. Shout out to you. Hasib says, Days, I just ordered Roman's Head of the Table shirt from WWE Shop. I can't wait for it to get here. Very cool. I don't know if you saw, but Hit Row have got some merch now as well. That's a new group that joined NXT, which has kind of divided opinion a little bit. I think it'll do all right. I'm seeing, I said this the other day, I'm probably seeing more positivity than negativity towards them. But they've got some t-shirts and hoodies and all this kind of stuff. So seems like they're moving quite quick with that group. Jeremiah said, I just joined the Thunderdome on time. I can't wait. Still going to be holding the Universal Championship and wearing a Rock shirt that says, finally. Shout out to you, Jeremiah. Jimmy, thank you, Days. Shout out to you, buddy. Austin said, Days, hear me out. Eva Marie is going to dethrone Roman Reigns. Please don't give Vince ideas, Austin. Robbie says, am I right in saying Bianca versus Bayley is the main event? If so, that could be interesting. I can't say I've seen any reports of that. I would be very surprised if it wasn't one of the 2 men's matches that main evented. In my mind, I'm expecting it to be Roman because Roman is their biggest star. If it's not Roman, then how Braun, Bobby, Drew, you'd expect it to be that. I really wasn't expecting it to be Bianca versus Bayley, to be honest. But if you have seen any news, feel free to let us know. Harley said, Days, how about this? After the feud with Roman, Cesaro wins the IC title. And then at Survivor Series, we do IC champ versus United States champ. We get Cesaro versus Sheamus. That would be awesome. And they've got good history. That would be good. That would be a lot of fun. McLean said, Days, would you rather be the best wrestler and have bad promos, or the best promos with no good wrestling ability? I kind of feel like they're both very important. I think you could probably get further if you had good promos, good music, good entrance, good presentation, but bad wrestling. I think you can get further if you've got a good look and good promos than if you're a good wrestler. Because I do think about Ultimate Warrior. Ultimate Warrior was not a good wrestler, but they hid it by having him go in there, destroy people very quickly. His promos were whack. He had one of the greatest characters in the history of WWE. Like, he came across like an absolute madman because he was an absolute madman. Like, it turns out that he was very close to his character. He was off his rocker. So, it's, I suppose in a way it's hard to know where the man ended and the character began. But Ultimate Warrior had these wacky, out there, passionate promos that were very unique. He had such an incredible character. I mean, I often forget about him when I talk about my favourites as a kid. He would have to be the top. You know, when I talk about my favourite ever superstars, I always talk about Undertaker and Shawn. But if I genuinely think back to when I was a kid, I had a soft spot for the British Bulldog. I had a soft spot for the Big Boss Man. I love the Big Boss Man. But I really used to look for when I think back now, I used to look on the back of the videotapes to see if Ultimate Warrior was on that show. I remember going to Car Boots, finding a tape I didn't have, and I would look at the back to see if Ultimate Warrior was on this show, and it wouldn't really change anything. I was buying it anyway because they were like 20p or something like this, yeah. And I'd have a pound, guys. I would have a pound. I was Mr. Moneybags at those Car Boots, so I could buy 5 tapes. Do you know what I mean? They call me Daisy 5 tapes, but I would always look for the Warrior. So I really feel that if you've got a good character, you've got good promos, but you're just not great in the ring, I think you can get further than if you've got a bad character, bad promos, but you're really good in the ring. I mean, so many examples of people that are great in ring that just struggle, you know, that haven't got the size, like Ricochet, Drew Gulak, you know, these are Chad Gable. These are great wrestlers, collegiate wrestlers, people that, you know, are legit, and they just can't get anywhere. So I think the presentation, the promos, in WWE, more important. Let's try and scoot down. Do you think when Becky returns, will Seth turn face? I don't think so. I'm not sure that they're connected. I don't think they've ever really been connected. So, I mean, they look to put them together because it's so publicly known? Maybe. I mean, could you imagine if Seth was, like, doing his Messiah stuff and Becky just comes out and has a word with him? You know? Comes down and has a word and tells him to sort himself out. He's a family man and all this, and, you know, he needs to be there for his family, and I don't know. I don't think they would go that way, to be honest. I think they'll kind of still continue to keep them sort of separate. It was really weird because didn't they put them together? I seem to remember they did like a mixed tag match. I kind of feel like they did put them together. I can't remember who they faced. Was it like Miz and Maurice or something? But there was definitely a time where when they were engaged or whatever, they put them together. And then they just didn't do anything with them. Just kept them apart. So, and then from that point, they were on very separate paths. So, no, I don't know when Becky returns it's going to change Seth, to be honest. Jennifer Palmer said, Days, did you see Ferguson's comments to Chandler about Dana White privilege? If not, Google it. It was pretty funny. I did. I didn't watch the press conference, but I did see the highlights from it. And, man, Tony Ferguson is fired up, man. He is fired up. I've always loved Tony. He's always been one of my favourites, but I do wonder now that when it comes to Tony Ferguson, you know, he's taken 2 big losses. I really do think that we're probably looking at a different Tony Ferguson. I mean, he's 37. He's 37. It's going to catch up with you. And even if he's just dipped off a little bit, that is going to be enough for him to not hang at the top of the division anymore. So you've got to be at your absolute best to be, you know, at the top of that lightweight division. You're talking about Connor, you're talking about Poirier, you're talking about Gaethje, Chandler, Oliveira, you know, you got Islam Makhachev coming through, Gillespie, who looked great the other week, he's coming through as well. It's a stacked division, and if there's any kind of drop-off, you're not going to hang with those guys at the top anymore. So, I love him. He's up for it. He's changed his training. He's fired up. He's finally done what I've said people should do. And that's, you know, you get given a microphone, say something, do something, get the world talking. And the world right now is talking about Tony Ferguson because of that press conference. So, respect to him. I hope he goes out there. I'll be cheering for him. I hope that he wins. I don't know that he wins. This is a step down, though. When we talk about the top of the division, Beneil Dariush is not quite there yet. So if he has declined, he should still have too much for Dariush. But, you know, we said that about Cowboy last week, and Cowboy lost. So this is a big, big match for Ferguson. If he wins, it might give him some confidence, give him some momentum, one last push towards the title. You know, it could be a great final run. If he loses, I don't know where he goes. I don't know where he goes. It's a massive main event and co-main event tomorrow. Absolutely huge. We're going to crown a new champion. And really, that co-main event is all about what next for Tony Ferguson. It's in his hands. If he wins, he's still in the mix. He's still in the mix, but he's still in the mix. If he loses, he's out of the mix. He's out of the mix, and I don't know where he goes then, to be honest. I don't know what he does. 3 losses in a row. Not a great look. Days, I'm happy. My teacher just told me yesterday we don't have to wear masks. I'm the last week of school. I'm not going to wear one, says Johnny. John, shout out to you. Andrus Hunter said, I think Morrison will turn on Miz because almost 1 year ago at Backlash, Miz cost him the Universal title in a 2-on-1 handicap versus Braun. Days, an update on Edge, says Harry Richards Music. I haven't seen this. The plan is now that WWE are thinking to hold fire on his return until fans come back. Brackets SummerSlam time. And to be honest with you, Days, WWE are chopping and changing at this point. What are your thoughts? To be honest, there's rumours that circulate all the time. Talk about them and, you know, move on, basically. So I'm sure it was last week that was the case, and if it's changed now, it's changed now. I mean, I don't worry about it. I focus more on what we get. You know, I'm someone that likes Edge, but I'm not someone that's desperate to see him win the title, if I'm being honest. That's not something I'm desperate for. I think there's lots of young stars that we really need to be building, and I'm really enjoying SmackDown and the work they're doing with, you know, Cesaro right now. I know he's not a young star, but he deserves this. He deserves this opportunity. So I'm really enjoying seeing this play out. And I am looking forward to that match on Sunday. I just think it's a bit predictable. What I want to see them do tonight is give me a reason to believe Cesaro's winning on Sunday. Right now, I give Cesaro a 5% chance of winning on Sunday. I reckon it's like 95% Roman, 5% Cesaro. Why are they going to put the title on Cesaro with no fans in attendance? So Like, you need to give me a reason to believe that you're going to do it. There's got to be something that you can do tonight that's going to heavily stack things in Cesaro's favour. And I don't mean, you know, keeping Jimmy and Jay away from ringside, right? That's not going to convince me. I need a reason to believe that Cesaro can get this done, right? I mean, you could do a stipulation whereby if Cesaro loses, he never gets a shot again. Something along those lines would be very interesting to me, because all of a sudden then it'd be like, are they really going to not give Cesaro another shot at the title if he loses? If so, is there a chance that he does win this time? That would actually put a seed of doubt in my mind as to, you know, could he do it? So I feel like they need something along those lines. I don't believe that Cesaro's winning the title without fans in attendance. I just don't. It's not WrestleMania. I think WrestleMania last year was different when Drew won, because they didn't know when the pandemic was going to end, and at least now we've got a bit of an idea that we're coming out of this thing. You know, we've just done a WrestleMania with fans. UFC tomorrow is going to have fans. You're looking at, like, you know, some movement now where fans are coming back. So I kind of feel like what I'm looking for tonight is I want to believe that Cesaro can win this title on Sunday, because right now I don't. I also want to believe that Bayley can win the title on Sunday, because right now I don't. I don't know why you would put the title on Bianca and then take it off her so soon after WrestleMania. I kind of think that they need to give me a reason to believe that Bayley's going to win. And without the show even starting, because I know that we complain, or I complain a lot about things, without the show even beginning, that's what I want to see. I want a reason to tune in on Sunday, because right now I don't think that card is strong enough. And the reason why it's not strong enough is because I don't think there's enough of a reason to believe that some of these champions are losing their titles. Give me that reason tonight, WWE. That's what I want from this go-home show. I don't have much confidence that I'm going to get it. I think it's going to be, you know, beatdowns, maybe Roman beating up Cesaro, Jimmy and Jay. I mean, maybe there'll be a bit of drama with Jimmy and Jay and dissension and all this kind of stuff, but there won't be enough to convince me that Cesaro's winning. I really don't see them doing that. But that's what I would like to see. So I'm more focused on all of these kind of stories than I am, like, when's Edge coming back? We did touch on it on the Wrestling Escape Pod. Does Edge come back tonight? Maybe. Maybe Edge comes back tonight. Not tonight, sorry, on Sunday. Does he come back on Sunday? Is that a nice little surprise, nice little return? Maybe. They might do that. I mean, we've already seen him. It's not as... Edge coming back this time is nowhere near as big as when he came back at the Royal Rumble, you know, or when he came back after, you know, that time away. Like, we saw him very recently. We know that he's going to have more matches. So I don't really feel like you need fans to bring Edge back, to be honest. You could. It would be an even bigger moment if you waited. But I don't know if that it's essential, so we'll see. Hopefully they've got something up their sleeve for Sunday. Anything up their sleeve for Sunday. But right now, that card does feel like one of the most stale cards I've seen from WWE for a long, long, long time. I can't wait for UFC tomorrow, says Hayden. Captain Foot Lettuce says New Jack has suffered a heart attack. Is that true? Has he suffered a heart attack? Oh yeah, there's people saying that New Jack has passed away. Oh, is this news that's breaking through? Let's have a look. That's big news if so. If he's passed away from a heart attack. Let's type it in and see what Twitter is saying. PWI Insider is reporting that New Jack has sadly passed away this afternoon. Wow. Yeah, they are. It's coming from PW Insider. Wow. That is... I'm only just seeing this. This is broken like a few minutes ago. So New Jack, for those of you that don't know, wow, that's really shocking. Apparently he got a heart attack in North Carolina. I'm just trying to read the article from PW Insider. So there was a Dark Side of the Ring episode on him, I believe. I think it was like season 1. And it covered like his history. He was someone that was in ECW. He was very extreme. He always took things like too far. Like he really was. If he didn't like you, he was going to beat you up in that ring, legit. And there was quite a few occasions where he went too far in the ring. There was a kid, wasn't there? What was his name? Mass Transit. There was a kid called Mass Transit who lied about his age. And New Jack, I can't remember what he said. He said something to New Jack. New Jack took offense and just absolutely beat this kid to a pulp. And then it turned out this kid was not even old enough to be in the ring, and it was awful. Like, New Jack was as extreme as it gets, you know, taking things too far at times. It's a very interesting Dark Side of the Ring episode if you get a chance to watch it. But he was so legit, and you know, he was such an extreme performer that he had so many fans and so many supporters, and people used to really enjoy going to watch him. It was always, you know, a spectacle. You never knew what you was going to see with New Jack. You knew you was going to see brutality. And he always delivered on that. PW Insider is extremely sad to report that New Jack has passed away earlier this afternoon following a heart attack in North Carolina where he lived. At times, Young was one of the most controversial wrestlers. The New Jack name was inspired by the film New Jack City. After breaking into the business, New Jack formed the Gangsters in Smoky Mountain Wrestling, leading to headliners against the Rock and Roll Express and even facing The Undertaker. After Smoky Mountain Wrestling, he went to ECW in 95, which was a perfect match for like violence. He was an ECW World Tag Team Champion several times. Used to dive off balconies, and that over time took its physical toll. And they talk here about the dark side of the ring. There will be a lot that's written, good and bad, but the reality was this: he loved to perform, and he loved to be New Jack in the public's eyes. He put himself through a lot of physical and mental pain in order to live his life as New Jack, and famously told our own Dave Schernerer that he made the decision to do so, that he knew he was getting into, and he would have no regrets. So there we go. So that's really sad news. That's really sad news. He is a controversial person. I'm certainly not going to sit here and paint him to be an angel, because he wasn't. But he was someone that, what you can't deny, he was someone that went out there, gave his all. You know, he went out there and really did give his all each time he performed. I've not heard of many examples of New Jack going out there and phoning it in. I've not heard of many examples of New Jack going out there and just going through the motion. I don't think he was capable of going through the motions, in all fairness. So, I don't know, maybe not a name that a lot of people will have heard of if you've not seen that Dark Side episode or was a fan of ECW or Smoky Mountain, of course. But that's really sad. That's really sad news. Harley said, imagine tonight Roman versus Cesaro gets confirmed to be a 30-minute Iron Man match. That would be diamond, says Harley. That would be fun. Cesaro is not beating Roman on Sunday. There will be a DQ in that match, says Soul Twister. YT, you're trash, says Days, did you know that Carmella never got drafted to Raw? Something tells me that she... I don't know if I knew she was never on Raw, but I know that she's the longest person to have been on SmackDown. So, like since the brand split came in and all of that. But I didn't know that she's never been on Raw. That's interesting. Deception Hunter said he almost killed an elderly wrestler with a barbed wire baseball bat. Bunker says R.I.P. New Jack. Edward Brown asks, how are you tonight? I'm good, thank you. We're just processing the breaking news that's coming through about New Jack passing away. Wrestlemania Backlash seems predictable, says to Boy123. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say on it, to be honest. I really want to be excited about it. I mean, of course I do. I'm going to be watching it. We're going to be doing a watch along for it. Why do I want to go into it just like, nah? So I really do genuinely want to be up for this. And there's a couple of things that I'm interested in. I'm interested in Roman Cesaro. I am interested in watching that. And, you know, I feel like Cesaro's not winning, but I want to see, this is his chance. Like, there's not many opportunities you're going to get to face Roman for the title. And Cesaro, you know, has been in so many tag teams. Like, he's been with Shinsuke, he's been with Sheamus, he's been with Tyson Kidd. Yeah, I mean, he's been with, like, different partners. He's been on mid-level runs. He's had mid-card titles. He's done, like, tag team titles. Like, he's done loads of stuff. But rarely has he had an opportunity to go for the big title, either the Universal or the WWE. So this is, without a shadow of a doubt, one of his biggest ever matches. It's huge for Cesaro. And I do wonder, like, if it goes bad, if it's boring, if it's a bit dull, is that going to be it? Are they going to pull the plug? Is it just going to be, look, we tried it, it didn't work? But what if it's amazing? Okay, he doesn't win the belt, but what if the match is a match of the year? What if that match is incredible? Because you know Roman wants that match to be good, right? Put all the character stuff aside. Roman knows how hard Cesaro has worked for this. Roman knows that Cesaro has been around all this time. Like, they will have travelled together. They will know each other. They'll be good friends, right? I've never heard of any issues that anyone's got with Cesaro. From what I know, he's just a really likeable guy. Certainly when I met him, he was awesome. So, put the heel Roman stuff to one side. I'm not talking about the characters. I'm talking about the people. I'm talking about the friends. I'm talking about them, right? Roman's going to want this to be a great match for Cesaro. I've no doubt about that whatsoever. So Roman is going to give, as he does, he's going to give his all and more. And I'm sure they're going to talk about it. I'm sure they're going to plan it out. I'm sure it's going to be a great match. So I am genuinely looking forward to watching the match because I do think the match is going to be fire. I really think it's going to be something special. Will it be a match of the year? I hope so. I mean, honestly, there's no reason why it can't be a contender because we are talking about Cesaro, one of the best in-ring competitors. We're talking about Roman, the biggest thing in WWE right now. We're talking about a Roman that is loving his new gimmick, he's living it, he's excelling with it. Like, this should work. This really should work. Okay, the promos haven't been brilliant, but a match between these two, pay-per-view, title on the line, the drama of Cesaro getting a 2, almost getting a 3. You know, I really do think that this is going to be a very good match. So I am looking forward to that match. I don't expect Cesaro to win, but I think just as important is, can he get a great match out of it? And will that mean that Vince continues with this push? And this won't just be one and done. So I am looking out for that. I don't think we've got the same scenario with Bianca and Bayley. If that match is a bit of a dud, I don't think they're going to take the title off Bianca. I think they're all in on Bianca right now. This match, I think, could be good. Bayley is a great wrestler. Bianca doing a really great job on the main roster. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I don't think Bayley wins. I think this is just another big name for Bianca to get the better of. She kind of needs a feud, really. She needs to be feuding with someone, and I don't know if Bayley is the right person, because she feuded with Bayley before she won the title at WrestleMania. I feel like we've seen quite a bit of Bianca and Bayley. I don't know that we necessarily need to see much more. I'm fine with this one-off pay-per-view match. I think I saw on Twitter they've got 1 win each, which is quite cool, isn't it? The fact they're like 1 win each. So it's like, who's going to take the third big match between them? So 1 win each, and they're facing for a third time, title on the line. It's a bit of a story that you can tell there. So, you know, it could be all right. I'm sure the match will be fine. So I'm keeping an eye on that as well. So those, if we're trying to find positives, that's definitely the 2 things that I've got my eye on. I'm definitely afraid of this man to the point that I couldn't directly name drop him. R.I.P. Original Gangster, says Jadam. Yeah. People putting in their thoughts and respects for New Jack. Of course, that news just breaking through about 5-10 minutes ago. Charlie said, who is one OG wrestler you would be the most shocked to see do a cameo appearance? OG wrestler I would be shocked to see do a cameo appearance. I'm trying to think of someone that is really on the outs. Do you know who's still alive and I can't believe we never see? Rick Martel. Rick the Model Martel. I mean, Rick Martel was huge. He was huge. He was in like Strike Force and the tag team. He was around in the 80s. Obviously, then, like, they gave him a refresh, and he had his arrogance. And do you remember when he blinded Jake the Snake Roberts, and they ended up having a blindfold match? Was it WrestleMania, maybe 7? And it's because he had sprayed his perfume in the eyes of Jake, and they put, I think, contacts in Jake's eyes. And, like, when you saw his eyes, like, the colour had all gone from his pupils. And, I mean, like, now you might look at it and go, it's a bit strange. But as a kid, I had no idea. I don't know what happens if you spray perfume in your eyes, do I? I don't know. As a kid, it was like, whoa. And they ended up having this, like, blindfold match. It's not a great match, in all fairness, because it's basically about 5 minutes of them going like this, right? And then Jake ultimately decides to get the crowd involved, and he points, and the crowd go, no! Like, no! Yes! And then he goes in that direction. And I think, like, he ends up hitting a DDT, and that's about it. So the match was, you know, nothing, but Rick Martel, man, he's a legend, and he's one of those names that you just don't see. I mean, we see Jake on AEW, but we don't see Rick the Model Martel. That's not my answer, by the way, but I would pop if he came back. That would be cool. I mean, like, we're seeing Ted DiBiase, aren't we, on NXT? So he's kind of from that era. And we saw Greg the Hammer Valentine on AEW. Do you remember when they did that strap match? Wasn't it Brody against Cody? And they had Greg Valentine in the stand. So that was cool. There's so many legends. Do you know what? I've got my answer. Demolition. Demolition are still alive. I met them at a fan convention a few years ago. Still big guys. Obviously getting on in age now, but man, they're so cool. Demolition was just one of the best tag teams, and you don't see them. You never see them at like Raw reunions, and you never see them at like you just never hear about them, do you? You never hear about Demolition, and the reason is because they're on the out with WWE. There was a concussion lawsuit, and they were part of that lawsuit. There was loads of wrestlers that were involved, but sadly they were involved. I don't think anything came of it. But it's enough for them to be on the out with WWE. It's the reason why they're not in the Hall of Fame. It's the reason why you never see them. So if they came down, if Demolition's music hits, here comes the axe, here comes the smasher with Demolition. If that music hit and down they come, I'd be like, oh my God. That would be awesome. I'm pretty sure like a lot of the kids wouldn't care. I would care. One of the greatest tag teams ever. It was basically WWE's Legion of Doom. It was WWE's Road Warriors, wasn't it? Because they couldn't get the Road Warriors at the time, and so they made their own. And then they finally got them and turned them into Legion of Doom. And we did get matches between Demolition and Legion of Doom, but not many. Not many. I can't remember a proper feud between those teams. But, that's what a time for tag team wrestling that was. Bianca's next challenger could be Mia or Carmella, says Andros Hunter. Deception Hunter said Demolition, best tag team not in the Hall of Fame. A cameo from the Heavenly Bodies would be cool, says Dave in real life. Shout out to you. Days, what are your thoughts on Tony Bellew's comments on the Paul brothers? I haven't seen them. I haven't seen what he said. I'd imagine he's probably said they're rubbish or something, or has he praised them? I don't know. I haven't seen what he said about them. If he's said they're rubbish, then I agree. I mean, I have no idea why Logan's facing Mayweather. Even Logan Paul's friends are saying he doesn't stand a chance. Like, literally, the world is saying he doesn't stand a chance. I don't get it. Even when he talks, you can tell he doesn't believe himself that he's got a chance. Like, this is just, it's money. It's just money. It's dirty. It's corrupt. It's just, ugh. I mean, I understand that most things that happen in the world happen for money, but this one is so obvious. It's just hurts. So I don't really get it. And Jake Paul, I think Jake Paul's got some talent. And there's no denying that. I mean, he knocked out Ben Askren. I mean, you've got to have something about you to do that. Ben Askren's been in there with people that can strike, and he's, taken shots before. So, the fact he was dropped by Jake is significant. But he's still not someone that's known for his striking. Jake's, taking the wise road of slowly building his way up through challenges. Because I do think that it's not going to... Once he gets knocked out, and once that gif is doing the rounds of Jake Paul getting sparked out cold, I think a lot of the appeal of Jake Paul and Jake Paul's fights will diminish, to be honest. I still think, though, even when he's been knocked out, people will tune in to see, will it happen again, or, will he get back on his feet? So I think even when he does lose, it's not the end of the world, but I do think it's going to, massively affect the pay-per-view buys. Right now, people are seeing it. It's turning into the Undertaker's streak. Who is the one that's going to stop him? Right now, it's 4, I think now. 4 fights he's had. And now people are like, who's going to be the one? And Jake's doing a really good job of finding people that are credible, but don't have the striking power. So I'd be stunned if he takes on a boxer. And if he does take on a boxer, it better be someone that's only just starting. Because if it's anyone that's got any degree of skill, then he's in trouble. There are a pair of WWE Elite Legend Demolition figures in mint condition for $800, says Gyro Lamb. Harley said, just to let you know, I've not heard Logan's friends saying Logan doesn't have a chance, and I watch his podcast. Then watch the one with Ben Askren. Watch the episode with Ben Askren, because I don't watch his podcast, but I did watch that one, because I thought it was quite interesting that Ben Askren had been on Logan Paul's podcast, and Ben Askren talks to the people in the studio asking if they think Logan's got a chance, and they say no. So, watch that one. Johnny said, Days, it's almost time for my grandpa's anniversary when he died. I miss him every day. I'm sorry to hear that, bud. Deception Hunter said, Days, when do you think the Gobbledygooker will be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame? I don't know if it's Hall of Fame worthy, to be honest. It was an iconic moment, but I don't know if that's what gets you. If that's what gets you into the Hall of Fame, then the bar is very low. And I'm saying that as someone that was roughly around at that time. Just I got into wrestling like a year. Well, hang on, what year was that? It was like 90, wasn't it? So I got into wrestling like a couple of years later. Yeah, the Gobbledygooker's really interesting because the Gobbledygooker is someone that was meant to be a mascot for WWE. He was meant to be someone that you would go to house shows and you would see the Gobbledygooker there, and kids would go up, get their picture taken with him. It's the Gobbledygooker, and he was never meant to be a wrestler. He was meant to be the mascot for WWE, and he was meant to be going to house shows and. Do you know what I mean? And I can see that. I don't quite get why he's the mascot, right? Because I don't quite get what he's got to do with wrestling. Like, you would think they would have, like, a wrestler, like some character in a singlet that would be their mascot that you would pose with. Like, the Gobbledygooker doesn't really make any sense. I think they did it because they had an egg, didn't they? And it was going to hatch at Survivor Series. And they were trying to figure out what was going to come out of the egg. And they decided to go with the Gobbledygooker. And that's how it came about. But ideally, the mascot would have been like a cartoon wrestler or something like this. But that was the whole purpose of the Gobbledygooker. But it didn't catch on, man. People didn't like it. They were booing him all the time. It just did not work. I think he made a few appearances and he was dancing around and just everyone was rolling their eyes. So they scrapped it and nothing came of it. But I sort of do get it. I don't think that's the worst thing to have done, and they could still do it now. Like, have a mascot. Have the Gobbledygooker. If you go to a house show, just have him walking around the foyer, having pictures with people. You telling me if you went to a house show and you saw Gobbledygooker walking around, you wouldn't want a photo? I would. Man, that would be awesome. And the great thing is you can put anyone in that costume. Do you know what I mean? The person in the costume could be a different person. Like, all you got to do is just ship the costume around. Have several as well. Do you know what I mean? Wherever you are, just have different costumes around. I get it. Do you know what? I get the idea. I totally get it. I think it was a good idea. It was just maybe the Gobbledygooker wasn't the right person. Maybe that wasn't the right way to introduce him, because everyone thought it was going to be this mass. It's so weird to look back now. But at Survivor Series 1990, people thought some massive star was going to come out of an egg. Undertaker thought he was coming out of the egg. He thought he was going to be Eggman. So, yeah, it's weird, isn't it? To think that people were, what do you think's coming out of the egg? And people were like, oh, I think it's Ric Flair. Could you imagine if that's how they debuted Ric Flair? So, no, it was the Gobbledygooker. Everyone was unimpressed and the whole thing died. So, I don't know that he's Hall of Fame worthy, though, in all fairness. Vape Ross Vape says, you never see Tito around WWE. That's true. Tito Santana, the first man to wrestle a match at WrestleMania. And he achieved other things as well. But he is a legend and someone that would be cool to see. He'd be great for like a Royal Rumble. Although saying that, I mean, I don't know how old he is now. He's probably, we've gone past that point. But you're absolutely right, yeah. Harley said, Days, the only way I can see Asuka winning is if WWE is going to try and do the story where Becky is Mrs. Money in the Bank and Asuka is champion. So the tables have turned. Asuka winning is if I don't see Asuka winning. I think that it'll be that Rhea retains, to be honest. Jeremiah said, Days, I'm so hyped. Some lady from the Thunderdome just told us to hang tight. The show is almost about to start. I'm excited. This is my first time in the Thunderdome. Well, have fun. Have fun, my friend. Grant said, Gobbledygooker is the greatest all time compared to Rowan's Spider. Gobbledygooker was. Hector Guerrero says, yes, he was. You are right. Yes, James Chadwick, you're right as well. Yes. I forgot that. You are right. It was Hector Guerrero that was in the costume the first time. Oh, great knowledge. Well done, everyone. Hayden said, I remember when I got into wrestling, my second oldest brother around the 2000s. I think around in 2003 I started watching wrestling. That was a good time. 2003, I mean, you're talking Ruthless Aggression, coming out of Attitude Era, talking that amazing class of Orton, Cena, Brock. I mean, I think Brock had come in 2002, but yeah, 2003, it's a good time. It's good. That was a good time. I find 2002 a very interesting year because that's kind of Attitude Era for me ends at like in 2001. The whole invasion thing was kind of done by the end of 2001. WCW was no more by that point, and you could argue the Attitude Era was done. Like Stone Cold had turned, wasn't the same anymore, was it? You know, he shook Vince's hand at WrestleMania 17. So I kind of feel like the Attitude Era is finished in 2001. There's no WCW. There's no Monday Night War. So I think that Ruthless Aggression starts around 2003. I do find 2002 this kind of in-between year. That's such an interesting year. I'd love to go back and like because I can't quite remember all the storylines from 2002. But I'd love to go back and just kind of watch it change, because 2002 they're trying to figure what's the next step forward. What do we do next? What do we do now? Now there's no Monday Night War, you know, and we're not quite at Ruthless Aggression, so it's kind of this in between. Yeah, it's quite interesting. It's the same with like 96, 97. Like you've got the new generation, like 94, 95. Going into 96, but you're just on the verge of Attitude Era, but it hasn't started yet. So again, you know, I kind of feel like that late 96, 97, very interesting time. And same in 2002. Those are the real changes in WWE as you move through the different eras. And then we've spoke about this before, the eras have kind of fallen away, haven't they? I don't even know what era we're in now. Do you know what I mean? The pandemic era? I don't know. It's a shame that the eras have kind of stopped. It would be great if you could like really go through all the different eras. Scott Turner said, Days, I hope tonight is good as it is my birthday. Happy birthday to you, Scott Turner. I hope tonight is not my birthday, but I hope tonight is good as well. That Survivor Series was my first time watching wrestling with Taker's debut. Wow. What a great time to start wrestling with the debut of The Undertaker. And more importantly, the Gobbledygooker. Esteban, we've seen, but yes, very, very sad news. How would you feel about Zelina Vega with Legado del Fantasma? I'd be down for that. Someone in the chat said that. Was it yesterday? I would be down for it. I think she needs to be with a heel. I can't see her with a babyface. One of the first names I said was Leon Ruff, because I feel like Leon Ruff on his own is going to struggle. He's kind of like this underdog who is very small, and I feel like he's going to need something to help him get to that next level, and a manager, a valet might do it, because I think he's great. I love Leon Ruff. I think he's such a talent, but he's getting held back because of his size. And I just thought, wow, what if you put like Zelina Vega with him? But I don't know that she would work with a babyface. I don't know if she would work with a babyface. And he's really fast-paced as well. Whereas Andrade was quite slow, tranquilo. He used to lie on the rope, she would lie underneath, and they had a good relationship, and they obviously had that kind of Mexican heritage, and obviously she wouldn't have that with Leon Ruff. But Legado del Fantasma, that would be good. I could see that working. I think she'd bring a lot to them. Cameron, shout out to you. Hope you are well. Right, we are about to start. No alarm. I got there. I made it. Boom. We are live with Smackdown in the Thunderdome, of course. Right. Jey Uso in the ring. They call me the right-hand man. Let's see what Jay's got to say. Come on, Jay. Last week, my brother disrespected the head of the table. Okay. He leaves us with no choice but to handle some family business. Okay, so Roman's coming out. So he's just getting a big intro right now. Do you think WWE should do more cinematic matches like Boneyard and Funhouse? I loved those matches. I would if they were going to do them right. I think they've done too many that have been underwhelming. I think that I would like them to do them in interesting locations. I must admit, I thought the Swamp one was okay. I wasn't a big fan of the Funhouse one. I mean, I was at the time for its imagery, but I mean, at the time I looked at it and went, I don't get, what was it? Like it's not had any lasting effect, kind of a thing. It doesn't really mean anything. So I just want them to do like a brawl in a supermarket. I want them to do a brawl in a shopping centre. I want them to do a brawl in some locations that you wouldn't normally see them fight in. Because I think there's something very exciting about taking wrestlers and putting them into like the real world environments of a restaurant or into a shopping centre or into a supermarket or in a library or in these kind of places. I really like that. I mean, only do it if it, don't just do it for the sake of doing it. But if for some reason it calls for it, like how they had the librarians in AEW, would have made perfect sense for them to have had a cinematic match where they had a fight in a library or something like this. So yeah, I don't mind seeing more. I don't know when crowds come back that we will, though. To be honest, I think this was a chance to really look at those. We could have been doing them a lot during the pandemic. We haven't done tons, and there's been some misfires. I mean, honestly, I think back at like the Viking Raiders against the Street Profits. Do you remember when they were like fighting outside, and we had ninjas and just some kind of monster inside a bin, and it was just awful. It was just awful. I remember it leaving a really bad taste in my mouth. Thankfully, we got Edge and Orton straight after, and that was Backlash last year. That was Backlash. That was the co-main event of Backlash. This awful cinematic match. So, if they're going to do them good, sign me up. If not, then it's probably best we leave them. But to be honest, I think we will be leaving them because I don't think they'll do them when fans come back. Because, it wouldn't make much sense to welcome fans back and then all of a sudden start doing cinematic matches where they all have to watch screens. Right, you're not missing anything at the moment. Just looking at last week. What about the one that Grimes was in? What, Cameron Grimes? What cinematic match was Cameron Grimes in? I can't remember a Cameron Grimes cinematic match. I remember Velveteen Dream Adam Cole being with the cars, but I can't remember Cameron Grimes. Have to remind me. Jimmy said I'd go see a live library match with Leva Bates. I don't know if she's doing that anymore. I know that Peter Avalon has moved on, but I don't know if and he's doing Pretty Peter now, isn't he? But I don't know if what Lever's doing. We're still watching a video package, by the way. You're not missing anything. It's just a recap of last week. And obviously we got Jimmy coming back. And Jimmy is struggling to fall in line. We need another Austin Booker T supermarket brawl. That was, honestly, I still think that's the gold standard. Out of all that we've seen, I don't think any have got to that level. I so enjoyed that supermarket brawl. You know what I mean? It had a little bit of comedy in there, but not to the point where it was silly or took away from the action. Hard hitting stuff. Apparently they did 10 grand's worth of damage in that supermarket brawl. And I was watching the Booker T Treasures show. I don't know if you saw that. It was good. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. I was watching the Booker T Treasures one. And he was saying they did 10 grand's worth of damage, and it's one of his proudest moments. He goes to see Stone Cold, and they hang out a little bit during that episode. It's really good. Oh, man, honestly, 7 minutes in, and so far we've had Jey Uso bring Roman down to the ring, and then we've watched a video package. That is it. You are not missing anything yet. There's nothing that's happened. Honestly, right now, you could have cut that first 7 minutes out of this show, and you could start SmackDown now with Roman standing in the ring, holding up the Universal Championship belt, and we could start now. I've heard that, Cam, yes. You suck is being piped in. So, just waiting for Roman to say something. Okay, he's having a word with his cousin. We've got some problems, and one of them is your brother. I'm going to address Cesaro first. I like you. That's good. I respect Cesaro. He's a talent. We could say he's one of the best wrestlers in the whole world. But Paul, I'm so much more than just a wrestler. I'm the tribal chief. Paul Heyman is everything here, isn't he? These two are gold. They're just gold. Do we think Fox wants that? I love that. I love that. He's talking about Cesaro being champ, and he's like, do we really think Fox want that? I tell you, it takes someone to be as comfortable and confident as Roman to be in the ring with Paul Heyman and not have him do the talking. I don't think that gets spoken about enough. Paul Heyman is in the ring, one of the greatest promos of all time, and it's Roman that we hear from. And he is absolutely excelling with his promos. Absolutely excelling. So confident, comfortable, and the way he delivers, and he's having fun with his mannerisms, and this is top tier stuff, man. Jimmy Uso's got a shirt on that says "Nobody's" swear word. Interesting. That's quite a shirt. Let's rap. Let's not rap. AEW has 80% more wrestling than the 3 hours of Raw, says Vape Ross Vape. Yeah, but they haven't got anything that's as compelling as this, in my opinion. This is the best thing in wrestling right now. Look at this. I got one of these for you in the locker room, he says to Jay. I don't think our boy here is going to make it past Cesaro. That's our cousin. That's the head of the table. I'm all about family use. Look at this. Look at this. I'm eating this up. Oh, give me another bowl of this. You're all about family? Well, then you're all about me. Nah. 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 Oh, look, Roman's like, I've been through this before with your brother. Oh, God. What is it with twins? Gotta go through this all again. Let's backtrack. You don't think I can beat Cesaro? That's how you feel. Jimmy said, I'm not trying to make this a thing. No. I don't think you can beat Cesaro. And Roman's like... Oh, this is so good. This is so good. I'll take 2 hours of this over 3 hours of Raw. Ooh. Aren't we the tribal chiefs? I am who I am. You am who you are. I'm the one that puts the food on the table. Look at Roman's facial expressions, man. You think you can? You think you can do what I can do? You think you could be the man around here? Do it. You're the man. Roman is fired up, says Brony. This is long-term storytelling, says Dave. Angry Roman is sexy, says Austin. When will The Rock come back? Oh, I'm sure he will. I'm sure they're putting him in this story. But not for a while. Maybe not this year. Almost certainly not this year. Jimmy issuing a challenge to Cesaro. And Cesaro's coming out. And Roman's like, oh, brilliant. Here's Cesaro in a nice suit. Critical of his suit last time. It was grey and it was big, but this is nice. Much better. I'm going to beat your cousin tonight. And then Sunday, I'm going to beat you. I mean, not a big fan of this, to be honest, because I kind of feel like Cesaro has waited a long time to get an opportunity to face Roman for the title. And for him to face Jimmy just like 48 hours before, it's just a bit illogical to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, Cesaro is watching Roman's family destroying itself. He should really just keep watching. If I was Cesaro, I wouldn't be accepting a match tonight. 48 hours away from the biggest match of my career. And I don't have to take it. I don't know, man. It's that kind of stuff that just irritates me a little bit, because now I do look at it and go, honestly, Cesaro, if you lose on Sunday, it's your own fault. Like, if you go into Sunday with any injuries, it's your own fault. If I was Cesaro, I wouldn't even have turned up tonight. Yeah, I'm not feeling brilliant. I've got a slight cold, so I'll see you Sunday, yeah? Alright then, bye. That's what I would have done. I certainly wouldn't be coming out and answering challenges from Jimmy Uso. Right, coming up next, we've got the Women's Tag Team Championships on the line. Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax taking on Natalya and Tamina. We're almost 20 minutes into the show. And gripping stuff. First 7 minutes recap video, didn't really need it, but tell you what, I could watch Roman promos for hours on end. They're just so interesting. They're so good. Facial expressions amazing. Everything seems to build towards something. There's lots of little twists and turns. Paul Heyman is just magic. It's just brilliant. It's just brilliant. Nia and Shayna. My hole! Yes. My hole. My hole. I like Jimmy's shirt. Mattel, you know what to do. Yes, censor that. That's what they'll do. They'll change it to no one's witch or something. Samir said Roman is a megastar. Sean says R.I.P. New Jack. Absolutely. Ant says Tamina and Natty deserve better. Austin said, love that open. Jimmy standing up to Roman. Roman getting angry. It was great. I love Roman's delivery and his facial expressions. Freshly Squeezed says this match is going to suck. James Chadwick said Roman has definitely improved on his tones on his promos. Love that. Yeah, I mean, he was getting fed a lot of lines before. We all remember the suffering succotash moment. I do feel... I feel like this is outlined for him. I think he knows where he's got to get to. I think he knows that Jimmy's going to come down. I think he knows that Jimmy's going to have a match with Cesaro. He knows that he needs to set up that he's the man. He needs to set up that, you know, Jimmy, do you think you can do what I do? Do you really think you're the head of the table? I think he's got outlines, but I do... The flow of it, the delivery of it, the way that he delivers it, he's either had acting lessons whereby he can memorize these scripts and really bring them to life better than he's ever done before, or they're just giving him bullet points and these are his words, which allows him to express himself a lot more naturally, because I don't remember him ever cutting promos this good. Like, this is just next level stuff. So, like, I would love to see this Roman against John Cena. Like, John was always someone that was very comfortable and confident on a microphone. He always had, like, a few witty lines that he could drop in, and he was always someone that was very capable at cutting a very good promo. And we've seen Roman Cena, but I'd love to see it now. This is a more well-rounded, developed Roman Reigns. Finally a heel. That could be fire, man. Those two doing promo exchanges was great when they did face each other. But I'd love to see it now. I think Roman would hold his own a little bit better. Mike said, who are you rooting for tomorrow? Definitely Tony Ferguson. And in the main event, I don't really have a favourite. I like both of them. I suppose in a way Charles Oliveira, because Michael Chandler's only just arrived. Like, this is only his second UFC fight. So Charles Oliveira's been grinding away. He's on a crazy win streak. It's like an 8-fight win streak. So I kind of feel like Charles Oliveira really deserves this opportunity, and maybe there's a question mark about if Michael Chandler does. So I'm going to say Oliveira, but it is so close. So close. It's going to be a really good show tomorrow. Really good show. Right, we've got Nia and Shayna stepping into the ring. Let's, I don't want, I know it won't happen, but I don't want Simpanold getting involved. I just want a really good match. Natalya can really go. Shayna's a good worker. Nia's got a good size to her, so, you know, she can do some power moves. She can come in and do something. Probably botch, but, you know, she can do something. Tamina, well, I mean, she's there, isn't she, so... There's that Bret Hart tweet. Yeah, that was a great tweet from Bret. Who do you want to win this match? I want Tamina and Natalya, to be honest. And I wish they were both in pink, and I wish they were, like, the Hart connection, or... Do you know what I mean? I wish this was a proper team that was going to be together for a long time. I wish there was a connection to the Hearts. I wish they were like the Heart connection or something like this. They could even have like Bret bring them out for like a big pay-per-view. I think that'd be great. The Heart Legacy or something like that, because obviously Tamina's dad was Jimmy Superfly. Although they don't... Have you noticed how they don't really reference that too much? Strike by Tamina. Tags in Natalya. Natalya stepping into the ring. We've got the NASCAR Cup Series, guys. Sunday 2. They're going to be in Dover. The Rock lost to Brock Goldberg. Cena, he is totally not beaten Roman. Have you ever played Zelda? I've never played any Zelda, no. I wouldn't mind giving it a go because it gets such rave reviews, but it's not a game that I've ever played. None of them. I hear great stuff about them, though. See, this is what I don't want. Is he chucking him away? Yes! That's what I want! That's what I want! You're out of there! Good. Good. That's what we needed. Right, Simpanold's gone, which is just leaving the 4 women. Into the barricade. Samoan drop. Nasty by Nia Jax. Right, kick by Shayna. Knee strike by Shayna. Natalya goes down. 1, 2. Shoulder up. Okay, with Simpanold gone, we might be onto something here. I think we're going to commercial. Right, commercial first. Titles on the line. We're at a commercial break. Hopefully, if they can give this just a little bit of time. I'm not saying like half an hour or anything like that. Just give it 10 minutes. 10 minutes, back and forth. Let's get a good match here. Let's get a good match. That's what I'd like to see from this. Maybe I'm asking a bit much. I'm not sure, but I'm going to keep my hopes high. Have you played any Mario or Sonic games? Asked Logan. Yeah, I've played. I loved Sonic 2 as a kid. I used to go around my cousins and we used to play Sonic 2 because it had a multiplayer mode, which was great. Really enjoyed that. It was a great casino level in Sonic 2, which we used to love playing. So yeah, played Sonic, but I haven't played loads of Sonic games. But Sonic 2 hammered that. And Mario 64, played that. Mario Sunshine. I did get, actually, on the Switch, those 3 games, the 3 Mario games. I did buy that. So I was playing Mario 64 on the Switch. Which, if I ever get a chance to go back to, I'd like to play a bit more of. Because I was enjoying that. So, yeah, I like Mario. Mario and Sonic were cool. GoldenEye was great as well. Days, I think it's time I acknowledge Reigns as the reigning, defending, uncontroverted Universal Heavyweight Champion of the world. He is the man. Split screen, that rocked, didn't it, Lone Star Friend? Sonic 2 on split screen. Do you remember that level where it's like a tube and you had to keep jumping over each other to get the rings as they were coming, and you was literally just running on a tube? And there was things that would come and attack you, and you had to get out of their way. I remember that. It was like a bonus level, really. I just remember playing that loads and loads. Used to love that. And then a few years later, of course, where you had Mario 64, GoldenEye. I remember playing that, Mario Kart as well. Pfft, amazing. Days, if Roman did a promo for 2 hours for the first time ever, would a show get 10 out of 10? This show so far, 9.5. The video packages before stop it being a 10. No, because I think there probably would be criticism that there'd been no matches. So, I don't know. I don't know that you could do a 2-hour promo and the show get 10 out of 10. But his promos for the segments that they take up are always great. They always add to the score. I don't think they've ever taken away. I love Sonic, says Austin. I wish Mario 64 had been ported to the GameCube. I wish GoldenEye would come to Switch. God, I'd love that. If they could find a way of getting the rights to that. I think that's the only problem, is they can't get the rights. But, hey-ho. Right, we're back, and we've got Natalya in the ring. Nia goes against the ropes, drops an elbow. Tamina is still on the outside, so it's Natalya fighting on her own. This is a women's tag team championship match. We're just being reminded. Natalya thrown over to the corner. She crawls over to where Shayna is. And Nia hurls herself into Natalya. Goes for the cover. Shayna coming in. Kick out. Cool wrestling. Let's go down. I love Assassin's Creed, says Curtis. Okay, Tamina. Come on, Tamina. Stomp on the arm by Shayna. Nia certainly enjoying what she's seeing, and Shayna's saying to Natalya, why don't you tag your partner who's not there? In comes Nia. Picked up. Against the ropes goes Shayna. Knee to the side of the head, and Natalya goes down. Okay, Tamina coming in and Shayna going over, but Tamina picks up Shayna, slams her on top of Nia. Tamina not showing any selling signs now. So Tamina, that was down for ages on the outside, perfectly fine now. We're done with that. Natalya trying to tag, and she makes the tag. In comes Tamina. Goes for a clothesline. Picks up Shayna, but Shayna lands on her feet. Against the ropes goes Tamina. Looking for a high kick by Shayna. Bit of a cross body from Tamina. Tamina charging over. No one in the corner. Back elbow by Tamina. Tries to kick out at Shayna. Shayna grabbing the ankle. Twisting at the ankle, actually, but... Is she looking to get an ankle lock? Oh, there it is. But Tamina trying to kick out. She does kick down. Baszler's down. 1, 2. From what I've heard, SmackDown is a solid 8 out of 10. Yeah, it's good so far. It's going to get better if Tamina does a splash. Come on! The worst move in all of wrestling. Honestly. What? It's such a treat to watch Tamina try to do a splash. Nia in the corner looking for a superplex on Tamina. Have you ever heard of a game called Five Nights at Freddy's? I have, yes. I've never played it. I don't know what it's about. I've just seen the characters. Where is Alistair? We should get his segments tonight, or we should get a segment from him. On the outside, ooh, German. German by Natalya on Shayna Baszler on the outside. Now Natalia's jumped up into the ring. She's holding on to Tamina. Nia has got Natalya on her shoulders. Samoan drop. But Nia's down. Splash by Tamina. And they win it. Wow, there we go. We didn't see the splash from Tamina because the camera stayed on. That was weird in a way. Nia does. Is it a fall away slam, a Samoan drop on Natalya, and then she just lies there, and Tamina splashes her. But we've got new WWE Women's Tag Team champs. The match is all right. The match is all right, but I like the result. Look at that, great German on the outside. Little bit nasty. I mean, Shayna was really close. Yeah, look, on her shoulders. Hits a Samoan drop, and then she lies there. That splash was all right, in all fairness. They just showed it from a different angle. That was better from Tamina. Look at that. She does a splash right for once, and she wins a belt. Natalya. Natalya says tonight was for anyone that had a dream and thought that their dream had passed them by. This is an emotional Natalya. And there we go, pyro and everything. Wow, fair play. Pyro? I'm really pleased for Natalya. I love Natalya. She deserves like this, and, you know, Tamina, she's there as well. There we go. New champs. It's a little bit much for the ladies' tag belts. I don't mind them doing it if they're going to make it feel big and special again. The belts should matter. So I don't mind them doing it. There's Commander Aziz. It's not even that serious. What is the point of the promos? Well, I think they're trying to make it feel serious. Like, I understand, yeah, it's just the women's tag titles, but I kind of feel like title changes and belts should matter. It should be important. So I can't really criticize them for doing that and presenting it as a big deal. If anything, they should do that more often. So rather than never doing it, do it more. Do it more, you know. Make those titles feel important again. Defend. Oh, it's a shame that then they're not gonna defend him on all the brands anymore, are they? I used to like it when they used to go to NXT, but obviously they're not going to do that because NXT have got their own women's titles now. But yeah, they can. It'd be good to see them going to Raw and bouncing between the two shows. Listen, I much prefer Natalya and Tamina as champs than Nia and Shayna, because whenever we saw Nia and Shayna, you always knew that Simpinord was going to get involved. It was going to be outside interference. It was going to be a rubbish match. At least with these two, there's a chance with Natalya you're going to get something out of this match. You know, so I like the title change. Not down on the pyro. And, I mean, look, the match was all right. The match was all right. It did a job. But, yeah, it's all right, man. It's all right. Ant Washington says Natty and Tamina deserve it. Blame Darius says, no more $49.99 mistakes days. I'm back. And with a question, do you think Omega winning TNA titles is beneficial for their superstars and locker room morale? Bring back factions. Blame Darius. Shout out to you, my friend. You absolutely did not need to send through that super chat. Did you mean for it to be 99 cents? But shout out to you. Do I think that Omega winning the TNA title is beneficial for their superstars? I think it is if a long-term plan has been explained to them. I think if it's a case that Kenny has come in, he's won the title, and the locker room are like, well, what do we do now? No, that's not beneficial. Because I think if it's a case that Kenny is coming in and, you know, he's the champion, and obviously their title is now just secondary to the AEW one, and it's all like, no, I don't think it's beneficial. I mean, someone will get that title back from Kenny, so someone will benefit eventually. But right now, it probably feels a bit rubbish. But if they know the plan, if the plan is right, you know, we're going to lose the title, Rich will lose the title to Kenny, but the plan is that we're invading AEW on May 23rd. So May 23rd, we're going to invade AEW. We're going to invade Dynamite. That's going to lead to a big pay-per-view between our two shows. That's going to start the build of one of you guys getting this title back. We don't know who it is yet, but we're still working on that aspect. But this is going to be big for Impact. It's going to be big for you guys. It's going to be more exposure than what we've been getting before. So it's time to step it up. If they know that, then I think morale would be fine, because I think they'd be aware of the direction that it's heading in. If they don't, if they're in the dark, then I wouldn't be surprised if there was a few grumbles. And honestly, I don't know. I don't know what's been said backstage. So I can't tell you if they're happy or if they're sad, if they're frustrated or not right now. But I could see an argument for both. Right, we've got Heyman backstage with Kayla. I love these two. Tall Paul 2000, shout out to you, bud. Stop with these hypotheticals. He's doing a little impression of Kayla. Roman Reigns can and will defeat Cesaro. Thank you. There we go. Right, we've got Apollo Crews in the ring. Medal of Honor ceremony. Commander Aziz is on a giant Nigerian box. His accent's still weird. Okay, so Commander Aziz is standing on a box. The box is green and white, which is the Nigerian flag. Does the Nigerian flag have a something in the middle, or is it just that? I feel... Is there something missing? Let's have a look. Nigeria. No, it is. It's just green. It is just green and white. In my mind, I thought there was a little something in the middle. Okay. I might be Intercontinental Champion for life. For acts of bravery, for continued loyalty. The Nigerian Medal of Honor is being awarded to Commander Aziz. Commander Aziz is getting the Nigerian... He's so tall. How is Apollo going to put it over his head? Come down, come down. Lower, lower. There we go. Commander Aziz with the Nigerian Medal of Honor. And there's Big E. Big E on the big screen. Clap, yes. How dare, but what a heel move by Big E to interrupt this ceremony. Oh, the steps up to that box at the back. I'm not a fan of this Apollo gimmick. Where's he gonna pin the medal? It's on a... Oh, Sami? Sami coming out. If there's one thing I respect, it's a good award ceremony. It's Mr. E that is the person that should interrupt Big E. Let's calm down for a sec. Commander Aziz has chucked the Nigerian ring steps out of the ring. Sami wants a chance to reclaim the IC title. Kevin Owens is coming out. Sami says, let's all calm down. You're not supposed to be here. Kevin is charging after Sami. Sami jumps into the ring. Apollo and Commander Aziz are trying to beat up on Kevin, who's in the corner. Apollo pounding on... Oh, hello. Big E. Big E out of nowhere. Debacato. I'm tired of Commander Aziz, says Ant Washington. BBB Yipsy says the Nigerian flag has a variant flag that has got two horses with a shield in the middle and a phoenix standing on top of the shield. Oh, really? Well, maybe I've seen that. That's interesting. Nigerian flag. Yeah, you're right, you know. I think that might be an older version of it. I would show you, but it's not going to show up because of the green screen. Either way, it is just white and green these days. That's interesting. Thank you for that. I do like flags. Right, Kevin Owens is down. Sami's in the ring. Big E is shouting at Apollo and Commander Aziz. This whole thing was just a bit meh. All a little bit meh. Jake said, let's go, Sami. Clap, clap, clap. That was fun, says Harley. This will be a match on Sunday, says Butterspark. Maybe they'll chuck it on. I don't even know what's on the pre-show yet, to be honest. No one out pizzas the Hut. Right, another video package for last week. We're looking at Dirty Dogs and Mysterios. We got 15 minutes till the halftime scores. It was green, white, and green, says Oh My Vince. Dolph Ziggler is boring, says Ant Washington. Brony says, a fatal four-way at Backlash. That would be good and also not predictable, lol. Harley said, this is a go-home and it's good. The start was good. The women's tag was decent. The interview after the match was great. Natalya deserves it. Tamina's first title. The brawl was fun. Jake said, are you excited for Double or Nothing? That card looks good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I thought AEW put on a really solid show. I think this is good for a go-home. I don't think this is amazing. I don't think that match was that great. I thought it was okay. That last segment, I didn't really need. Promo at the start was really good. But again, considering this is a go-home, I do think this is good so far. Rey Mysterio versus Dolph Ziggler coming up next. Don't need that. I need this, though. I'm really looking forward to watching this. Shawn Michaels biography this Sunday. Apparently we're going to hear from Vince in this thing as well. And Undertaker. Last week's first hour was better, but this has been good so far. Yeah, and honestly, I mean, Harley makes a good point. This is a go-home show. Let's not forget that. I mean, when I came into this week, I was hopeful, but I didn't quite know what to expect. And it's a very good point. This is a go-home show. So I think for a go-home show, this has been really solid. Days, if you like flags, you should hang out with Sheldon. I also find them interesting. Yeah, I don't know what it is about them. I don't know. I've grown up seeing them because of like watching football. So whenever England would play at a World Cup or we would play like qualifying against different nations, then you would always see their flags. So just get used to seeing different flags from around the world. And then it gets to the point where you can go, that's Sweden, that's Portugal, that's Russia. And you can start just naming them. But then, of course, you've got, like, really obscure nations that we never play. So I don't know their flags, but I don't know. I've just always had a bit of an interest in them. I'm kind of cool. How do you feel about Bobby Fish versus Pete Dunne? I'd love it. That'd be great. Yeah, I'd be down for that. I think it'd be a good match. Need a bit of build, though. I don't know how we quite get there. I suppose they had a whole thing, didn't they, last year? That you could play on. I've got Wi-Fi so I can watch your stream, says Clay. Shout out to you. Roman's best mic skills were in 2014 and 2015. I think he's better now, to be honest. I mean, if you think he was better before, that's cool. But I think this is the best he's ever been with promos. What is your favourite national flag? This, honestly, it might just be because I am British, but I really do love the Union Jack, the Union flag. I think that it's kind of it's a little bit like the United States Stars and Stripes in the sense of it's become a bit of an icon on its own. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you think about there's like guitars that have had it printed on, and there's like the Spice Girls had it as a dress. And you just see like the Union flag like used quite a bit in fashion, just because like it's such an interesting like design. It's got a few different colours in there, and I don't know, it just looks cool. I really do like that flag, even if it had nothing to do with like Great Britain. I would still think it looked like a really cool flag. So I do like that. And I like the Stars and Stripes as well. It's very interesting, isn't it? How you've... there's not many flags like that. You see a lot that are like, you know, like the Nigerian one that's just colours. If you think about France, and that's just got the 3 lines, and then you've got obviously what we just looked at with Nigeria. Like, you know, those are pretty standard flags. I like flags that are a little bit different, like the USA flag or the Great Britain one. It's kind of cool. I think where it's just 3 blocks of colour, it can just be a little bit... okay. It's like Germany, France, they're blocks of colour. I think Holland is as well, isn't it? So I like ones that have got a little something going. Just a little bit of something happening on them. Right, Dolph is making his way down. Canada is 3 blocks of colour. Well, it's red, and then it's got white in the middle, and hasn't it got something in the middle of that as well? I forget what's in the middle. Is it a maple leaf? Or is it something different? I know it's red and white, and then I feel like it's got something in the middle. Let's have a look. Yeah, maple leaf, is it? Yeah. That's kind of cool. You've got something going on there. Dolph needs a refresh with his gimmick, his music and everything. Well, he's doing the dirty dog stuff right now, isn't he? So he's he's a tag champ. He's got something going on. I think anything that gets you on TV is probably good enough for him right now. Interesting mask that Ray is wearing. It's black. One side of it has got a little bit of neon on, which looks really cool. The other side is just all black. So he's kind of got like a Two-Face thing going on, which is it's nice. I like it. It is a maple leaf. Who is your favourite Shield member? I think John Moxley, says Jake. I gotta say Roman right now. I think Roman's just amazing right now. He's just not putting a foot wrong for me, so it's hard to say anyone different. I think all of them have had their moments, but I think right now it's Roman. Do you think Nia has been reduced into a joke? Pretty much yes. I think considering her size and the fact that, you know, she could have been booked as a monster. She could have been booked as a bit of a female Braun. She could have been the female Andre the Giant. Like, you know, you could have done something really, do you know what I mean, cool with Nia. Her music is horrific. Her music is just an awful rib that has gone on for way too long. Like this, I'm not like most. Like she needs music. Like, could you imagine if she came down with like a bum 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 bum, something like that's like, do you know what I mean? Like it feels like something evil and impressive is coming out. You could have add a bit of choir to it as well. You could really do something with, like, you know, some music, and then out she comes. Boom, boom, boom. But instead it's, I'm not like most girls. It's just rubbish. It's just rubbish. Her music's rubbish. Her attire is rubbish. Her booking is rubbish. The fact she botches all the time is rubbish. She just needs to come down, be used less. When she gets into the ring, she just needs to be dominant. You know, people trying to knock her off her feet and her just not even, like, flinching. Few big power moves, gets in, gets out. I wouldn't use them that much. I wouldn't be using her every single week. I think she's someone that, you know, you could really book to... imagine if Nia comes down now. You know, you could do something like that. You could get to the fans there, but now it's like, now Nia comes down, we all just cringe. We all just think about, my hole! But yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't know what they were thinking. Because when it comes to people like that, you'd think Vince would know how to book them. Do you know what I mean? I think he's done an awful job with Nia Jax. Awful. But saying that, he messed up Big Show. I mean, Big Show hated his booking. Big Show's very critical of how he was used. Hates it. Hates how he was used. Constantly be turning face, heel, face, heel. He was reduced to a joke at times. So, I suppose in many ways, she's like the female Big Show that hasn't even had the same push that Big Show received. So, that doesn't even feel like a good comparison, to be honest, but I know that he was very critical of his booking. Nia's music is like a rejected song from the Zoolander soundtrack, says John. It's awful, isn't it? Awful. I know she hated it. I can't remember what documentary I saw, but I remember when there's a documentary where she first hears it and she's gutted. I can't remember what it was on the network. I can't remember. But there's a documentary where she first hears it and she's like, she hates it. And I can't imagine that she ever came round to liking it, to be honest. So I think it wouldn't surprise me if when she's done, she's going to be openly critical of how she's been used. She's Samoan. They could have done something like that. That's true. Yeah, they could have played on the Samoan thing. Absolutely. You're right. You're right. Definitely could have played on the Samoan thing. I think it's a little bit difficult to know how to do that in this era because, back in the day we were getting, lots of stereotypes that you can't really do in modern days. You've got to be a bit careful. But saying that, they're pushing the boat out with this Nigerian thing, aren't they, with Apollo? So, I don't know. I think there's a million things, and I'm not even exaggerating, they could have done that's better than what they did with Nia Jax. So I do feel sorry for her. There's not many women that you see that are the size of Nia Jax. I think she might be the biggest one in wrestling right now. I can't think of anyone bigger than Nia. And that's not... I'm not being disrespectful there. I'm saying that's an advantage, John says Nia should have carried on Chyna's legacy of someone that could beat up male wrestlers. As you said, they botched her career. They just haven't booked her properly. Yeah, I mean, it's true, isn't it? I mean, Chyna was never amazing in the ring, but at least what she had was, she was booked to be, someone that could take on the guys. Now, Nia has done that at times. Do you remember when she jumped into the men's Royal Rumble? But the thing was, she was just beaten up and embarrassed in that men's Rumble. So, yeah, I don't know. They could have done so many things with her. But I do think it all starts with her presentation, her music, her ring attire. I think that if that's all wrong, everything else you do after is going to be wrong. So I think it's all wrong. It's rotten to the core. Crossbody, springboard crossbody by Rey Mysterio, and Dolph Ziggler managed to get out of the way. He's crawling over. Have you heard about New Jack? We did, yes. Awful news. Heartbreaking news. Obviously, really sad to hear of anyone passing away. And as we said, he's a very controversial person, so I'm certainly not going to make out he was an angel. But he was someone that always gave his all. If you paid money to go and see New Jack, you was going to get a show. And I think that's his legacy. His legacy might be a bit more complicated than that, but I think the headline probably should be that. Slam down, face first to Rey, going for the cover. Dolph and kick out by Rey. Natalya and Tamina are the new SmackDown Women's Tag Team Champs. They're the oldest SmackDown Women's Tag Team Champs, says David Hall. Beth was also in the Men's Rumble, says William. She was, good knowledge. Rey versus Dolph takes me back, says Harley. John says maybe Nia should have been part of Roman's group and been the SmackDown Women's Champ. That could have been good, couldn't it? I also think Naomi should be a part of this. I mean, Naomi is Jimmy's wife, so it really feels like she should be a part of this somehow. Like how when Jay was in trouble, Jimmy came down. What's going to happen when Jimmy's in trouble? Does Naomi come down? Is this going to be a way of adding Naomi to this group? Because I think that would be a good move. I think that would be a great move. Could you imagine if Naomi is part of this and she's going to go on to have a women's title run? That would be great. So would it have worked with Nia? Sure, but you could still do it with Naomi. The Riot Squad should face Natalya and Tamina for the women's tag titles at Backlash, says Mad Memes. I would say Backlash is too soon, but I think you could definitely get that as a match, maybe at SummerSlam or something. Doesn't it seem kind of weird they are playing into Roman, Jay, and Jimmy's Samoan heritage and not Nia's or Tamina's? I suppose. Perhaps they don't want too much of it. Perhaps they don't want too much Samoan storylines. Perhaps they just want Tribal Chief and the family thing, and they just want to keep that for the Roman story. So they don't want that like happening elsewhere on the show. I could see that. It's kind of crazy how much different Dolph was when he was a face and how over he was. Now he's just flat and it's boring and it's stale. Yeah. I'm really not a fan of these matches because I'm the action's okay, but it just doesn't mean anything. It's never done anything to get me more excited for a pay-per-view. And that's what this is meant to do. This is meant to get you more excited for WrestleMania Backlash, but it always comes across as just killing time to me. It always comes across as just, we've got to kill some time. Let's put out some superstars that are going to face each other on Sunday. I don't get it. I don't like it. I think they could do something more creative with this time. But, the action's fine. I mean, in a way, it's nice to see Ray, because you don't know how much longer you'll get to see him. Kick by Ray, Dolph goes down. You wanted this match last week. You said you was excited for the match, but then Dominic replaced Ray. Well, I just said it's always nice to see Ray because you don't know how much longer you're going to see him for. I'm never a fan of this when it comes to killing time for a pay-per-view show, because that's all it is. Because you're absolutely right. We were meant to get this match last week. Now we've got it this week. So it is literally just killing time on the show. But as I said, it is always nice to see Ray. And it's not every week you get to see him, but I just wish it meant more. Imagine if Brock drove a tractor to the ring. That would be strange. I like Dolph was seeking revenge and shouting, "It should have been me," says Let Him In. No balcony was unused when New Jack was wrestling, says Dave in real life. Justin says, I love Ray. Gary said, I know this is a go home, but it feels like Raw. Ray and Dolph will face each other on Sunday, says William. This is decent, says Harley. Ray over by the ropes. Days, will you be watching the NBA Hall of Fame ceremony tomorrow? The late, great Kobe is being inducted. That's cool. I didn't know about it. I won't be because I'm watching UFC. But, yeah, I mean, that's great news. If Kobe, I mean, he absolutely did. I'm surprised he's not in anyway, to be honest. So, yeah, that's very cool. You missed a 619 into a super kick. I'm just not into this match. I just don't really care. William says, evening days. Maria says the Riot Squad should face Natalya and Tamina for the tag belts next. Ray gets the win. I like Ray's mask. Okay, the match is done. William, shout out to you. Maria, shout out to you. Do you remember when Dolph was in the Spirit Squad? I do, yes. I do. Yippee Yawn match, says Butterspark. Do you remember when Karma was in the men's rumble? I do, yeah. She was great. She's Awesome Kong in AEW, isn't she? Haven't seen her in forever. Where is she? I don't even know where she is. Is she injured or something? Here's Cesaro backstage. Okay, he says it means the world to me to compete for the title. Kyle, I'm sorry to hear that, buddy. I think I can. I'm not like Roman. I'm not bred for this business. He says, I'm not going to take Jimmy Uso lightly. He says, I don't just think I can beat Roman. I know I can beat Roman. Okay. Hey, Bianca Belair. Here we go. Bianca Belair's going to make her way down. Let's see what Bianca's got to say. Did you hear a couple of weeks ago that Kenny from the Spirit Squad had retired? I think I heard that be mentioned on the Jim Cornette thing on his podcast. Right, Bianca Belair making her way down. She's in civilian clothes, so she's not about to wrestle. She's in heels. So it looks like we're going to commercial break. So halftime scores coming up, my friends. Halftime scores are now. Get in your halftime scores. What do you think of the show so far? I got Heath Slater coming back for Jinder versus Drew, says Deception Hunter. Bianca looks classy, says Brony. Days, that was a decent match. I loved the 619 into a super kick. Great chemistry. My score is 8.5. Austin said my halftime score is 7.5. Jake says 8.5. John says 7. Brendan says 9. UFA says 7. Zane the Goat says 8. Brad G says 7.5. LSW says 6. Robert says 10. Lone Star Friend says 8. Ryan English says 7.25. Scott Turner says 7.5. Heather says 7. 8.69 says One and Only. Spike Hunter says 6.5. William Hensey says 7. Stephen Dance says 7. Shan D says 7. Cheese Whiz says halftime score 5. Justin says 8.5. Preston Green Too Much says 3. Brony says 7. James Chadwick says 7.5. Lewis says 7.5. LD Cool says 7. 6.5 from Spike. C. Rayford says 6.5. 6.5 says John. We're getting a few sixes now. BBY Yipsy says 6.5 as well. 7.25 says Alex. Dave in Real Life says 7. John Costello, 6.5 holes instead of belts for Nia and Shayna. A few 6.5s, few 7s. 6.25 BBB Yipsy. 8.25 from XD. 6 says Crazy Ginger Jake Holden. 6.19 says Help Me, I Need Dr. B. Ben the Tank says 7. Ice Wallow comes says 9. Dave says 7. Gamer Max says 7.9. Anna Dawes says 6.25. Don from Jamaica, not bad so far. Could be much better. I give it 5.5. Don Lion. What a great name. Shout out to you, Don Lion. That is a great name. Ricky Lawrence says 5.8. That's a great name as well, Ricky. John Cena Gamer says 7. William says no either, which is on Raw. So I'm going to give it a 5.5. Justin says 8.5. AJ says 7.5. Trey says 7.5. XFL says no live, so it gets a 0. Harley says there's a couple of 8s. There's a few 8s. I'd say there's more 7s and maybe a few 6s. So I kind of feel the average is about a 7.25 on average. We've got an 8.7 though. 9.5. Tay with a 6. Thomas with a 5. Bonkers LFC with a 4.5. Daly says New Jack. Yes, heard that news. Very sad. Very sad. Alvin says 5.5. I kind of reckon the average is about 7.25 around that ballpark. Which honestly, for a go home show, is not bad at all. I think, you know, backstage with Dominic and Ray. Ray said he's ready to make some history with his son. Here's Dolph and Robert. You don't belong in this hallway. He probably doesn't. Beat it, yeah. Yeah, beat it. Beat it, kid. Do you want? They should ask him, do you want an autograph? Why you keep hanging around? Do you want me to get Roman's autograph for you? Why are you still here? On Sunday, you guys are going to call me Baby Champ. Baby Champ. Right, Bianca's still dancing away. You know they say to her, just keep dancing. Go out there, smile on your face, keep dancing. Right, we got Bianca, Michael Cole. Bailey will come down. Michael Cole's in the ring. I'm living for any interaction between them two. I want to see Michael Cole against Bailey. That's what I want to see. I'm the BEST. I made home cinema infused G butter. I don't know what that is. We've got some progressive match flow thing happening right now in my life, which I don't remember asking for. Would you like to see Cesaro back in a suit and tie as a heel? No, I like him as a face. I'm really pleased he changed his suit. This one looks a lot better. I liked him in the black suit. Sharp black suit. I don't need him doing the James Bond. Do you remember that? He used to come out and do the James Bond thing. Yeah, I didn't need that. I'm not sure that was a highlight of the career. You can get that as a figure, can't you? You can get Cesaro with a suit that comes off. Right, we've got Bailey on the screen. She's still laughing away. Where you at anyway? Yeah, where are you? I'm far away from you. Next time we'll be in a ring together will be this Sunday. Go! She needed to do that. Go! I love that. I don't need this Bailey laughing thing. I don't know what this is. You keep coming for me. I'm about to hurt your feelings. At WrestleMania, you was busy being thrown down the ramp by the Bellas, whilst I was winning this. Bailey's not laughing now. I mean, that did suck. I hate Sasha and Bailey's fake laugh. Yeah, I don't. It doesn't add anything. This little fairy tale reign of yours doesn't end well. That's better. Better from Bailey. Bit more serious. I still don't feel like Bailey's winning, but... King Corbin? Austin 316, King Corbin polishing his crown. Not as kinky as it sounds. King Corbin backstage. Shinsuke! Here we go. This is... Come on. Shinsuke doesn't have a match on Sunday, so yeah, let's get him out there. Let's get him out there. Right, Shinsuke. Shinsuke! Shinsuke Nakamura versus King Corbin. Dream match. Dream match time. Thanks, Vince. Well, look, if Shinsuke's going to get a win here and it's going to give him some momentum, I can vibe with that. Corbin is the GOAT. Did you know he was the last person to pin Roman Reigns? You're welcome. Anna said, things just picked up finally. Shinsuke is on my TV. I love Shinsuke. What's he on about? Clash! Only one will survive! Shinsuke! Days, do you think a feud between the Street Profits and the Usos would be a great promotion for the SmackDown Tag Team division? Yes. I think they could put on a fire match. In my mind, I'd make that in Hell in a Cell as well. I always remember Usos New Day Hell in a Cell just being such a great match. I kind of feel like putting that in Hell in a Cell. Street Profits against the Usos. That would be good. I'd love to see them in an environment like that and just tell them, steal the show. Go and steal the show. See what they can do. Because I feel sorry for the Street Profits. They've been involved in a lot of nonsense. I kind of feel like if they were in there with the Usos and they had a proper match in a Hell in a Cell, they could really deliver. Maria said, Days, after this match, can you say we are going to see UFC 262 tomorrow? We are going to see it tomorrow? What time are you seeing UFC tomorrow? I don't know what time it starts. I'll have a look for you now. UFC 262. The prelims begin 11:30 UK time, which is 6:30 Eastern time. So we'll start probably around that time. Might start like 15 minutes before. Probably might start 15 minutes before. Might even start half an hour before. I'm not too sure. But we won't start too much before because it's going to be a long night. The main show doesn't start for 3.5 hours after that. 3.5 hours after the show actually begins. There's quite a few fights on tomorrow. I think it's about 12. Which isn't tons in all fairness, but it's a healthy amount. So the main show starts at 3. That means it's going to end at about 6. So, you know, if we're starting at like 11... it's going to be like a 7-hour stream. Big stream tomorrow. If you are around, you're a fan of the UFC, we are going to be here live. We're going to be watching the early prelims, the full card, obviously the main event. Lots of stuff going down tomorrow. Where is it, actually? It's in Texas, isn't it? It's not at the Apex. It's at the Toyota Center. Toyota Center in Houston. Crowd. It's going to be a crowd there. So, always great to see fans. So, yeah, looking forward to that. Please bring this rating up for me, Shinsuke, says Heather. Where is Alistair, asks Brony. Well, I think they'll play his little thing. They might play it when we come back from this. Won't take long, will it? His little... well, yeah, maybe they'll wait till after the match. BB Yipsy said, I like King Corbin. I like Nakamura much more. I'm looking forward to this match. Harley said, people giving 6s. I disagree. Keep in mind, this is the best go-home show we've had in possibly a year. Dave in real life says, UFC has fans tomorrow. Yes. Have you got the Boogeyman figures? I do have a Boogeyman figure, yes. I can't see it right now. Can I? Can I? No. I do have it. Somewhere. You never know where the Boogeyman's going to pop up, though, do you? So, even my figure is hiding from me at the moment. Right, King Corbin is making his way down. We've got 37 minutes left of SmackDown. King Corbin getting a proper entrance here. And this is a better attire, isn't it? I like this attire much better than the... that looks good. So he's got his crown, but he's got like this silver. It kind of looks like something Seth would wear. That top. The crown looks good on him. Days, did you hear WWE are going back touring with fans in July? I didn't hear that, no. I heard. Big kick by Nakamura and King Corbin victorious. Yeah, Nakamura showing a little bit of frustration there. So, I don't know, is this a Nakamura heel turn? Is he going to stomp on the crown? I don't know what happened. It all just died. Everything just died. And this is on the PC, which is very strange. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened. Shinsuke's got the crown. He's got King Corbin's crown. And is he looking to put it on or something? He's making a big deal out of it. This is weird, but he puts the crown on his head. Okay, so Shinsuke loses to King Corbin. He puts the crown on his head. Stop the timer's all gone. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I haven't got a clue. Literally, I was watching the match, and when I looked up, the screen was black. And I was like, oh, is there something wrong with the TV? So I actually kept on talking. And then I just quickly looked on my phone, and I saw everyone going, oh, even the stream doesn't want to watch Corbin matches. And I was like, oh, brilliant. So the stream has crashed then. So I just reset the computer, and we seem to be back. So that's an exciting little glitch that's arrived with a different computer now. Oh well. We're back anyway. Backstreet's back. How long have we got? Half an hour? Adam Pearce and Sonya, and there's a little bit of dissension between them. All hail King Nakamura, says Heather. We got Jimmy Uso, so Cesaro versus Jimmy Uso coming up next. Can we call him Kingshke Nakamura? Kingshke. If you want to. Shane, I heard that news, buddy. Yeah, very, very sad news. It crashed because you won't sing the Corbin song anymore. Maybe that is it. Maybe that is it. Yeah, very strange. It's never done that before. Never. Not this computer where the screen just... Weird. But at least we're back. Backstreet's back. Alright. Kingshke Nakamura. Adam Pearce is sexy, sexy, sexy. It's going to be a big match next week, says Dom15. Have we seen Mia yet? Nope. We haven't seen Alistair either. Corbin is like Nia, puts on terrible matches and segments. Harley said Days Apollo versus E versus Sami versus Kevin. IC title next week. Always something to look forward to each week. Kingshke. That sounds awful. It wasn't me that said it. It was from the chat. The chat said it. So don't throw shade at me. Turn on the fellow community members. Do you think Sasha could return at Backlash? I don't think so. I think she's out for a bit longer. Roman is sexy, says Christian. Sexy. Always makes me think of Miss Clown One. Corbin has good matches, says Austin. Ruby Riot. No sign of the Riot Squad. I hope we get King of the Ring, says Mott. That would be good. And I hope everyone's involved in it. With the exception of Bobby and Drew. I don't need Bobby and Drew in it because they're both champions. And now, hang on. Roman and Bobby. Everyone else should be in. Even Drew. And if you're like, even if you're a mid-card champ, you should be in. But I wouldn't include the WWE or the Universe. I think those are the only two people that are technically above King of the Ring. But everyone else should be in it. Could be awesome. To be honest, Corbin is a good heel as everyone, but a few hate him. Does that symbolize the King of Strong Style is back? I don't know. I don't know if it symbolizes that the King of Strong Style is back. It might do. It may do. We'll have to hear from him. Volta in King of the Ring. Oh, could you imagine? Be awesome. Graham said, did you hear that Zelina Vega might return? I did. they've been working in the Performance Center recently. Be very good. Linda McMahon is sexy, says Christian. Christian knows. Christian knows. What is the news about Shayna? I haven't heard any news about Shayna, to be honest. I mean, I would imagine that might be it for her and Nia. Look, here's Shinsuke backstage. Here's Kingsuke. Kingsuke looking in the mirror. He's loving it. Okay, so he's stolen the crown. He's doing lots of this in the mirror. It's the kind of thing that teenage girls do, I think, when they're like dancing along to like BTS and stuff like that. So Shinsuke has turned into a 13-year-old girl. Hey, here we go. Alistair Black. Tales of the Dark Father. It can only be trial by fire. It will either cleanse or consume you. Father taught me a lesson. The lesson. The lesson. I'm a cruel man. Because you. It's easier to take a seat and watch life happen than stand up and fight through it. I could help you, but I won't. You're not a participant, you're a spectator. I love that line. I love that line. I could help you, but you're not a participant. You're a spectator. It's really great imagery. I mean, there's a mystery to it that reminds me of old Bray promos when he was doing the cult stuff. It's good. I like it. I think he looks great. It does. It is reminiscent of cult Bray. We got Jimmy being interviewed by Kayla. That made no sense. Well, it might make sense eventually. We don't quite know who he's talking to. But whoever he's talking to, he's saying that he could help them. I mean, he might be talking to us. He's saying that I could help you, but you're not a participant. You're just a spectator. So you're not worth my help, basically. And I do like that. Because if he's talking to us, he's elevating himself above us. And in fairness, if he's talking to a fellow superstar, he's elevating himself above them. And he's saying it's easier to sit down and watch than it is to participate. I think there's some interesting stuff there. I love his look. I love him with the glasses. He's been working out. He put a picture out of himself the other day. He looks incredible. Incredible. He dropped to like 190 pounds. I think he's up to like 220 now. Or something along those lines. Like, he dropped a load of weight and he's put a little bit back on, but he's put it back on as muscle mass. And I know there was like superstars chipping in saying like, keep doing what you're doing, man. You're looking awesome. And he's in great shape. Alistair Black's looking really good right now. and wrestling fans love that kind of stuff. That kind of mystery, that kind of decoding, something you can have a bit of fan theory on and watch it develop. People love that. He mentioned architect. It could be Seth, says James Chadwick. There we go. James Chadwick showing, as what we said, they love kind of reading into things like that. I'm flipping out. Doesn't Alistair's father look exactly like The Undertaker? There are similarities, yes. Who put Charlotte in there? Right, Cesaro making his way out. We've got Jimmy and Cesaro. We've got 20 minutes to go. AJ said if Alistair gets moved to Raw, could he have a feud with Bray? Well, I'm sure their paths could cross at some point. I think they would make good opponents. I think Alistair needs to really establish himself first. Wow, this is our main event. 20 minutes. What was your favourite figure you had as a kid? Well, it would be a Hasbro. And I don't know. The one that I always wanted was Dusty Rhodes. Because he was the rarest one to get. And so I always wanted Dusty. I did get it, but I didn't really get it when I was a kid. I got a couple of Dusties now, actually. Which I don't even know how hard they are to get now, to be honest. But I do have I got a couple of Dusty Rhodeses. But, I don't know, it would probably be like a Warrior or something like that. I did love Warrior. Adam Bomb is great as well. The Adam Bomb figure is awesome. I'm surprised Mattel haven't made an Adam Bomb yet. Justice for the alarm. Oh, is the alarm going off? It shouldn't be. Is it? Oh, stupid alarm. See, even when I try to get rid of the alarm, it comes back in a blaze of glory. Stupid alarm. It's gone now. Days, do you agree this has been the best go-home show we've had in ages? I think for a go-home show it's been good. Has it been the best? I can't really recall them all, to be honest. I mean, maybe the fact I can't recall them is probably a good sign that it is one of the better ones, yes. But I'm not losing my mind over this episode, in all fairness. I think it started really well with the Roman thing. And, the women's tag match was alright, but then the rest of it has been a bit of a lull again. And SmackDown keeps doing this, where it does lull. But I like the fact they're doing something with Shinsuke. That's cool. I like the fact they're doing something with Shinsuke, so I can subscribe to that. But yeah, it's a go-home show, innit? It's a go-home show. Days, get back to toy hunting. I do want to. What's your prediction about the Universal Championship at Backlash? Roman retains. I don't know how. I don't know if Cesaro wins, but it's a DQ or a count out, or I'm not sure, but Roman wins. It could be that Cesaro wins the match, but it's a count out. That would allow the feud to continue. That would also play into the Jimmy saying that he doesn't think Roman can beat Cesaro. But there's no way I see Cesaro getting that title. I was just pulled out of the Thunderdome before the main event. I'm upset. I want to see the main event. Can't you watch it on TV? Jeremiah. Days, what are you doing in the Thunderdome? I'm not in the Thunderdome. We got Rhea. Asuka, so it's a little advert for WrestleMania Backlash. Johnny said, I can't wait for WrestleMania Backlash on Sunday. William says he could win by DQ. Mott said, Adam Bomb teased he's working with a contract. What's your favourite pizza? I don't know. I don't know if I have one, to be honest. I like chicken and sweet corn. It's a bit bland, I suppose. It's not very adventurous. I don't know. Meat feasts are cool. Chicken and sweet corn is cool. Pepperoni's alright. I'm not crazy for it. Right, we've got Cesaro and against Jimmy Uso. And the bell sounds and they charge at each other. They lock up. And this is our main event. So 16 minutes left to go. Our main event of the evening. Jimmy Uso taking on Cesaro. Days, the highlights have been the start, the title change, the interview, Ziggler, Ray, Alistair Black. The rest was decent. Nothing bad. I've legit been to the Funny Farm a few times, says William. What hours do you sleep? My whole body is about 12 hours out. So right now it's 2:45 in the morning in the UK. So that's about 2:45 in the afternoon, really. So I'm 12 hours out, basically. So when it's like noon, it's 12, like midday. That's about midnight for me. So I tend to go to sleep about 1, something like that, which is like 1 in the morning. And then I'll get up about 8, which is like 8 in the morning. So I kind of something along those lines. So yeah, my whole body clock's completely messed up. Although I had a really good sleep the other day. Was it Thursday? I think I had a really good, like 8 hours. I feel great for it. I feel really good. Nice. Jimmy Uso playing a bit of possum there. Making out that his knee had gone on him, but it hadn't really. Days and US in the UK are like what sleep? Days and us in the UK are like what sleep? Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? I mean, this is dedication, isn't it? UK fans that are staying up at like 3 in the morning to watch these shows. I mean, think about that. Think about the fact that Raw starts at 1 a.m. in the UK. There are people in the UK that stay up till 1 a.m. just for Raw to begin, and they watch Raw every Monday. That, I mean, honestly, those people should get checked out. They should get checked out. That is dedication. You're absolutely right, James. And you should probably be first in that line, in all fairness. Damien, shout out to you. Bit of ring rust for Jimmy, says Laurie. I love Jimmy's shirt, says King. I could see them selling them. I reckon there's a good chance if you go to WWE shop. I reckon there's a good chance you might find some of them. Maybe not right now, but soon. Jimmy back in the one corner. Cesaro back in the other. You're getting up in the morning when I'm ready for bed, says William. I'm just completely out. Upcut by Cesaro. Jimmy gets driven back. Into the corner goes Jimmy. Cesaro, shoulder first. It's just not a great idea for Cesaro to be having this match. Tony said, Raw starts 12 p.m. lunchtime here in New Zealand and SmackDown 12 on Saturday. Jimmy goes through the ropes, collides into Cesaro. He holds onto his leg. And we go to our final commercial break. When there's wrestling, I need no sleep apart from last Tuesday. Dave in real life, shout out to you. Hayden said, my sleeping schedule is very normal. I went to bed at 9:30, woke up at 6 in the morning every day. 9:30, that's early? No, I don't think I've ever been to sleep 9:30. You go to bed at 9:30, Hayden? That's good, in all fairness. How many hours are you getting there? You getting, 8.5 hours? That's really good. That's really good. That's early, though. There's normally some good TV shows on at about 9:30 at night. I'm going to wear Jimmy's new shirt to school, says Johnny. Days, do you think Jay's going to attack? He could do. I'm sure we're going to see some Jay and Roman interference. I'd be surprised if this just ends clean and that's it. So, yeah, I'm sure there'll be something. So, you sleep through the day. I sleep through the day in the UK, yes. I suppose, do I sleep in the... Yeah, I suppose I sleep in the day American time, thinking about it. I mean, I would get up about 8 p.m. UK time. That's like 3 p.m. Eastern. So, yeah. I am always up at night in the UK, and then I'm just 12 hours out. That's what I worked out. UK, whatever the time is in the UK, switch it 12 hours, and that's what time it is for me. Roman sucks. I never sleep. I just charge myself, says Austin. Tony said it's not on WWE Shop yet. Oh, give them time. If they can make money out of something, they'll sell it. Don't you worry about that. If there's money to be made, they'll make it. We don't sleep. We just recharge. This is just a simulation. Braden said, is the PG era finally over because of the shirt? No. They've been saying that word on TV for a while. I kind of think that's as far as they're allowed to go. And they've been saying it. They've been saying it as a way of, like, shocking us. It's come to something where that word now is meant to be, like, shock us. And now it's on a shirt. And we're like, now we're like, is this the end of the PG era? No, I don't think so. I think that's as far as they can go. Nocturnal Gang says let him in. I'm so looking forward to this Shawn Michaels biography. I'm so looking forward to it. I can't wait for that. I think 2K22 is going to be good, says Toma. How can they sell it if it's not PG? I think they will sell it. I think it's cheeky. I think it's as far as they can go under the PG banner. I mean, don't forget, PG is parental guidance. It's not like a... I don't know what you call the one underneath. In the UK, it's a U for, like, universal. How ironic is that, thinking about it? The irony that the level below PG is U for Universal, which is the name of one of WWE's biggest titles. They might as well have the Universal Championship and the Parental Guidance Championship. Never thought about that before. Right, kick out by Cesaro. How long have we got? 8 minutes. 8 minutes to go. Jimmy's shirt is available on WWE Shop, but not Euro Shop. What, is it on WWE? God, they don't mess around, do they? They really don't mess around. Suppose it makes sense, though. If you're going to see it on TV, get it on there quick. Cesaro up top looking for a superplex, and he hits it. He hits it. Here we go. Cesaro. Shoulder up. Great uppercut. Oh my, wow, look at it. The spittle came out of Jimmy's mouth. Big uppercut, big superplex. Boom. Brutal. Good little match. Jimmy having to battle hard here against Cesaro. He's on the outside of the ring. Cesaro. Cannonball to the outside. Collides on to Jimmy. The doc in me worries about your cholesterol and melatonin. I can prescribe 3 hours of Raw once a week for optimal sleep. I'm loving these big words. Melatonin. I said cholesterol. It's not cholesterol. Cortisol. I have heard of that, in all fairness. I didn't know it was stress hormones. That's interesting. Help me. I need Dr. B. Shout out to you. The doctor's in the house. The Tribal Chief is in the house as well. The Tribal Chief hurling Cesaro into the announce table. Jimmy says I had him. Look, Jimmy's walking away from Roman, jumps out of the ring. How long we got? 6 minutes. Roman's going after him. You think anyone cares if you can beat Cesaro? Oh, Roman just grabbed him by the arm. That's how I keep our family on top. This is about you. This is good. This is good. Cesaro attacking Jey Uso in the background whilst Roman and Jimmy argue. Roman jumps into the ring. Superman punch takes down Cesaro. I feel sorry for Cesaro. He's kind of an afterthought here. Roman's having a word with Jimmy. Uppercut by Cesaro. Roman against the ropes. Another big uppercut. Roman goes back against the ropes again. Kick to the midsection. Jey Uso attacks Cesaro. Cesaro goes down. Yeah, this isn't so much about Cesaro getting his opportunity as it is about the family breakdown. Uppercut by Cesaro. Cesaro trying to fight back against both the Usos. I think, has Roman got out the ring? Yeah, Roman's managing to escape. So, Cesaro has got Jey in the ring. Cesaro says this is going to be you on Sunday, looking for the neutralizer. Jimmy's down out the ring. Jay's down in the ring. Cesaro on the entrance in the ring. Roman on the entrance ramp. Paul Heyman's come out with the Universal Championship. Do something! Do something, says Cesaro. Do something! I'm loving that. He's going for a second here. Second neutralizer by Cesaro. Boom. Roman just nods. All right. See you Sunday, mate. See you Sunday. Oh, do something! Days, have you got TikTok? No, I've never even been on it. Alright, I think that's going to be us done for this week. Little trademark thing in the corner. Cesaro stands tall in the ring. That was good, says Sean. That was good, says BB Yipsy. Roman's got the belt over his shoulder. And the screen fades to black, and we are done. We are done with the Go Home Smackdown. Get in your thoughts. Get in your scores. What do you think of the show? Roman's going to retain, says William Hensey. UFC tomorrow, says Dominic. It is UFC tomorrow. Who wins the main event? Who wins the main event? Well, if the main event is going to be... Cesaro, Roman, then I think it's going to be Roman. I mean, in all fairness, Cesaro could win the match, but he won't win the title, I don't think. Wow, they're coming through thick and fast. Let's try and read them. Here we go. LSW 6.5, Heather 725, Brandon 9.5, Cheese Whiz 5, LD Cool 7, 8, pretty good, says UFA Ultimate Figure Animation. Anna Dawes says 6.75, Brendan says 8.9, Future Compilations, shout out to you, says 7. It's Pichu says 10. Birdman says 7.5. Dan Carr says 7.25. Laurie said sets up good hype for Sunday. Brony says 6.75. William says Sunny does TikTok videos. Does she? Is that where she goes in and does her shoplifting? At Value Village. Jay says 775. Hayden said, I've got TikTok, but I don't post any videos. Retribution says 6. It was mediocre, as usual. Jimmy says 5. Troy says 9. Shan says 7.5. Scott Turner says 8. Basti says, I've got TikTok. Shout out to you, Basti. I hope you are well. Austin says, I was going to give it a 7 if he didn't win. William says, Go Home Show. Yes. That's the name of an episode of Raw or SmackDown just before a pay-per-view. It's known as the Go Home because you're going home, basically. Home being the pay-per-view. And it's just a case of putting the final touches in place. So Go Home shows are never the most exciting in the world. Because it is literally just the final touches before the pay-per-view. Anything massive would have happened in the weeks before. Scott Turner says 8. Crazy Ginger Jake Holden says 7. Calvin says 8.2. Deception Hunter says 7.45. BBB Yipsy says 6.5 for the first half. 8.5 for the second half. 7.5 overall. Brandon with a 9. Sunny with a 7. Samir says overbook Cesaro. Sunny says, I make some videos, but I watch other videos. Damien, shout out to you. Toma says 10 out of 10. Bonkers LFC says 7.1. Mona says... Mona Margie Music, Triple M, says 10 out of 10. Robert says 8. Basti says 8.5. Hayden says 7. Harley said, Days, it's a go home. The start was good. A decent tag. Interview after was great. Ziggler versus Ray was good. Bailey and Bianca was okay. Alistair is fantastic. The brawl was fun. Main event was good. Ending was great. 8.25. XD Frenchie says 9 because Corbin won. William says 7. No. Seth, no. Riot Squad, sad. And no boss, sad. Sunny says, for the record, I don't shoplift, chat. Well, there's photo evidence that says otherwise. Old School says 7.25. Desmond says 7. Crazy Ginger Jake Holden says, what's TikTok? Brony 6.75. Let's go down to the next ones. Shakeem says 7. Desmond says 7. Johnny says, Days, is tomorrow UFC show free? It's free in the UK. It is a pay-per-view, so it depends where you are in the world. If you've got BT Sport, then it's just part of that. I mean, like, maybe I shouldn't say this. I'm going to say it. If you had a way of VPNing and watching BT Sport, would that just mean you get to watch UFC? The only thing is, you've still got to be subscribed to BT Sport, so you would still have to have a subscription to BT Sport, so it still wouldn't be free. But I think a month of BT Sport is still going to be cheaper than just buying the pay-per-view. So, I don't know, I've never really thought about that. Shadam says 7.5. Austin says 7.25. Going Ghost, hello. I don't know if you talked about it, but the rumour about Bray and his struggling, I feel bad for him. He deserves time off. Yeah, that news obviously from a couple of days ago, the other day. And I don't know where the truth lies with that. The rumours are circulating. And I'm sure that it was something that hit him very, very hard. So I can imagine that it is something that you don't easily get over. So, yeah, you know, I hope he's all well. It's free on Peacock. I don't think the UFC is. 6.75 says Brony. Right. I am going to score this. What am I going to score this? Probably going to go... Oh, do you know what? I kind of feel like it's just going to stay where it was about the halfway score. We did it about 10 minutes past. And I don't really think there's anything that moved the dial for me. The Alistair Black thing's cool, but I don't think it's enough to move the dial. Main event was... alright, but I don't think, again, it's anything that... I wouldn't have booked it in the first place. I thought the match was fine, but I wouldn't have booked it. I think when you've got someone that's having a pay-per-view on the Sunday, it just doesn't make any sense. How is it right that Cesaro has to have a match on the Friday when he's got the biggest match of his life on Sunday? How does that make any sense? I understand Cesaro accepted, but... he had to accept because the script has been written where he accepts. But I don't understand why they put him in that situation. I've said this before. I respect a champion that doesn't defend the title every single week and take on all comers. I don't respect that. I think that's an idiot. I don't respect idiots. Like, if you're a champion that's going to defend the belt every week, there's a good chance you're going to lose it quite soon. Because if you're going to defend that title on a real regular basis, someone's going to beat you sooner than if you just defend it once a month. I've got much more respect for someone that is using their brain, is being logical, defending the title as little as possible. I respect, because that's what I would do. I respect it. I've got nothing but respect for people that... I respect what Brock was doing. I think Brock had it sorted. Brock was champion and really didn't want to defend it as little as possible. I respect, because that is exactly what I would do. That is exactly what I would do. So I've got maximum respect for Brock. But all these fighting champions, idiots! Idiots! What you doing? Don't respect that. So, yeah, Cesaro, I don't know. I wouldn't have booked Cesaro in the main event. But the match itself was fine. You know, and it was fun ending, but I don't think it was enough to move the score. But I do agree with what Harley was saying, considering this is a go-home show. I think it was a better go-home show, and I think there was bits here that was entertaining. I enjoyed Natalya and Tamina winning the titles. There was a little bit something there for Shinsuke. Alistair Black thing was fine. Cesaro, Jimmy was a decent match, and I'm really enjoying like the promo at the start. From Roman. I thought that was good. So, yeah, there's some stuff here. There's some stuff here that means that this isn't a disastrous show. But, yeah, there's nothing here that's, like, set my world on fire. But for a go-home, I'll take it. I'll take it. End the stream, says Maria. End the stream? Oh, okay. Going Go said, Days, you would never defend it, says Austin. No, I wouldn't. I would do anything. I'd be like, I've got a cold. Do you remember that cold I had last week? It's back. Bye. And I'd just keep doing whatever I could to not defend that title. I respect that. That is exactly what I would do. I respect The Miz. Do you remember The Miz? It was like, oh, I've got... I can't remember what he had, but he was constantly trying to get out of matches. I respect that. That's exactly what I would do. These fighting champions are idiots. So, yeah. That's why I just don't think, like, Cesaro should have accepted a fight against Jimmy 48 hours before he goes for the title against Roman. Like, if he'd have got, like, What if he had a match here and he got a serious injury? I mean, we all saw what happened to Humberto Carrillo. And, you know, what happened... Was it last week? So... What if he got an injury in this match and that's him done, and he doesn't get to have his match on Sunday? It's an idiot. It's an idiot. You didn't need this match. Jimmy Uso called you out. I would have walked out and gone no, and then walked off. Forget that. Flip. 48 hours from the biggest match in my career. Do one. So, Days, Brock was working smarter, not harder. I agree. Everyone's saying, oh, we want a champion that defends. I want a champion that uses his brain. That's what I want. So, yeah, I respect it. If he didn't, then Roman would have proven right against Jimmy. I don't subscribe to those mind games. Listen, Cesaro's got one thing he needs to do. That is focus on Sunday and win, right? If you're in the World Cup final, yeah, you don't play a friendly 2 days before. So Cesaro is basically in the World Cup final. This is the biggest match of his career. He's competing for the Universal Championship. Why run the risk of getting an injury? Why drain your energy? It doesn't make any sense. But this isn't anything new, right? This is something that's happened in wrestling time after time after time after time, and we'll see it time after time after time. It's just, part of wrestling. It's one of them things you just have to accept that's a part of wrestling. But I would have had so much more respect if Cesaro had come out and just laughed at Jimmy and got him on the verge of the biggest match of my career, and you want to have a match? Do one! I would have respected that a lot more. That's how I would have booked it. I can tell you that much. So, yeah, a decent SmackDown, and we move forward to WrestleMania Backlash. Hasib said, Days, don't you think it's stupid to pay every UFC pay-per-view? What if you're a regular viewer? You'd be losing a lot of money. I think people that are into UFC... I mean, I'm very fortunate. Don't get me wrong, I'm fully aware of how fortunate I am. In the UK, if you've got BT Sport, you get the pay-per-views. So I don't have to pay an additional charge. So I can't really speak on the subject. But I know that there's people that are into UFC that literally have it as part of their budget. So, they get paid their wages and they put aside enough for the pay-per-view each month. And obviously there's other ways of watching it. Illegal streams and watch wrestling and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, and I know that people in the US put aside a little bit each month to watch it. But then there's others that pick and choose. If it's not that exciting, they won't. If they're not that fussed by the main event, they won't, give it a watch. I actually think tomorrow looks quite good. A lot of good matches, a lot of close fights, and of course we're going to crown a new lightweight champion. But what I would say, it's not Conor. It's not stacked with title fights, and maybe tomorrow might be one that people would skip. Maybe. I honestly don't know. I mean, if you really do have to pick and choose, you might have your eye on that Conor pay-per-view, which is in a couple of months' time. You might have your eye on, some of the title fights that are coming up, because there's a few cards that have got multiple title defenses on, whereas tomorrow is just one, but it is a big one. The lightweight division is probably the most stacked division. It was dominated by Khabib. Khabib's gone, so now we need to crown a new champion, and we're going to do that tomorrow. It's either going to be Charles Oliveira or it's going to be Chandler, and it's a very close fight. The odds are really close as well, so it's going to be good, man. I'm looking forward to it. But I do agree, it's a lot of money, to watch UFC each month. If you've got Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus bundle, the pay-per-views are included. On Disney Plus? UFC are on Disney Plus. They're not on Disney Plus in the UK. That's weird. I didn't know this. Oh, hang on. Is that got some... I don't know. Perhaps it's different. Perhaps you get ESPN with Disney. Do they own them? I don't know. I don't know enough about how it works in America. I know you can't watch UFC on Disney Plus in the UK. Sethi Mother Flippin' Rollins says, Hey Days, good news. I got the newest elite of Alistair Black, Alexa, and basic of Firefly Funhouse Bray, Yoshi Tatsu, Tegan Knox, and Ronda Rousey. Very cool. Harley said, Days, do you think Becky will be in the women's Money in the Bank ladder match? That would be a good way to bring her back. That would be good. I mean, I don't know that we've got fans back then. If there's fans around for that, then that would be a good shout. If not, then they might still wait. Labria says, have a good night. Yes, we are going to go. Big shout out to everyone that joined us tonight. It was fun, man. It was really fun. It was good to see people joining us. Shame we had a bit of a wobble where everything shut down during the show. But hey-ho, we got it back, and we will be back tomorrow for UFC. Of course, we're here on Sunday as well. We'll start an hour before the kickoff show. So any wrestling news that comes through, obviously the sad news about New Jack as well, that's awful news. But any wrestling news that comes through Saturday, Sunday, we'll cover it all on Sunday in the hour before. Then we got the kickoff show. Then we've got the main show itself. So, we'll see. I do agree. People have been hitting me up saying, look, I know the expectation's quite low, but sometimes that can make for a decent pay-per-view. And actually, I do agree with that. Because I'm going into it really not expecting much. So, do you know what I mean? There's bound to be something that's going to play out with Jimmy and Roman and all of that. We may get, Edge return, although I doubt it. There could be some surprises. Who knows? So... yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So, UFC tomorrow, WrestleMania Backlash on Sunday. Have a great evening, everyone out there, whatever time it is, wherever you are. Evening, morning, afternoon, night, wherever you are in the world. Really appreciate you joining us, and hopefully, I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.